Citing at the close, but that's the close. You still have half a day to go. Let's get it going.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That is your girl, Adara. And yes, I know, we're twinning a little bit today. It's all good there. We're going to wait for everyone to come on over from the other stream. I forgot to say I'm Sharif. And yes, we already have some early birds. Shout out to the OG Jarwin, Jack C. Dub. We got Matthew Booth and Oliver Katsaros. I hope I didn't butcher that. Hog Ratter. He's riding those hogs. Mr. Jonathan, hey, Davis, Jeremy Newman, why not? Michael S., as well as Derek Thompson. What's up, my man, Adam DeLuce? Scott Edwards. Adam, what's going on with this Nunez business? I don't want Darwin Nunez on Arsenal. What's going on with that? Our Alex Smith. We got Mike Walter. Shout out to the world's best moderator, Bears versus Bulls, Random Oddities, joining us as well. We've got Glenn Smith and Randall Leger, Andrew Chow and Paul. We got Parabolic, something or another. It's moving too much there. Happy Zombie. Okay. Brendan Richard the Fifth, MB3. We got Easy Peasy, Lemon Squeezy. We got Holly. What's up to Holly? 1320. Oh. And Aaron and Joanna Brewster. Good morning, Gadara.
Good morning. How are you, Sharif, on this? Fine. What day is it? It's a day.
It is hump day.
Oh, it's Wednesday. Nice.
Wednesday.
How are you doing on this Wednesday, Sharif?
Can't complain. It's 1,007% humidity outside, but it's
so
okay
gross
there.
outside.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but we shall take it. I think the Florida people probably don't want to hear about our problems.
They probably definitely do not at all.
It's okay. Well, whatever.
Guess. What's
up, Rubino? I see you. All right, there's a whole lot of stuff moving here, so let's get right to it, okay?
Let's do it.
The futures are absolutely in a full state of dump right now. Whether you're looking at the Mag 7 or the chips or the actual futures in general, there's a Katina man. He's riding those bears, and the bear is growling out money. So aggressive is a down move today. So we're gonna have to keep an eye to see if the bleeding can stop. Otherwise, we're gonna join in the down parade over here, looking to see, obviously, if there's any distinctions between any of the Mag 7 names and the future, and there are none. You see down and to the right for all of them. So basically, we're short biased at this point until otherwise stated. We are coming into an important level here on the NQ September contract, weaseling in to that 19.4. We didn't really hold up much at 19.5, I got to tell you the truth, so I don't have a whole lot of hope for 19.4. I've got a whole bunch of small cap gappers as well as some earnings plays to talk about, but anything you want to get to, Adara, before we get to the lesson of the day?
So basically, I was in SMCI, and this actually was going well, and then I fat-fingered, and I think I still have, because I accidentally added to the position. Basically, I was trying to sell SMCI at, oh no, I accidentally almost bought more. Okay, I was trying to sell SMCI at like, I was trying to get out half the position. I got it long. Okay, so this thing is just, I'm in the same, guys, to clarify. So basically what happened here, which is not an excuse, this is just gross. But basically what occurred was I was trying to go long SMCI 415. This was working. It was working well.
Oh, yeah.
I liked what I was risking. I was risking into 414. Basically, I sat down. I saw what we were doing in the book there, and I was like, holy cow, Adara, if you were, like, you're in the sim, you have the opportunity to take advantage of these moves. This is a trade you'd want to take live, but you'd probably arguably not be confident enough to do. So if you see this here, what do you do it? Going long. So I went long, risked $1.50. It worked out. We were almost $3 in the money. I was trying to get my sale there. Instead, I accidentally bought more shares. I didn't realize I bought more shares right away.
Love that.
I was very confused. And this is, again, part of why I'm in the sim, hashtag tired trading. So that is definitely a part of why I'm in the sim right now. So anyways, that ended up being an L. Was not able to get out necessarily where I wanted to. I got out, like, to be clear, 2/3 of the position, the planned position, that went as planned. I got out of that where I wanted to, got in where I wanted to. Then we accidentally added, like, a smattering of extra shares that I did not execute appropriately. That 414, though, was a crazy level in the book. So if we get back to that, I am very cool shorting 414. Happy I tried it. Again, a trade I would have tried in live, though. I would have taken more shares and I would have managed it more appropriately and been more awake. But that's why I'm in the sim right now, because I want to be able to be live for CrowdStrike and Lulu earnings.
Oh.
And in order to do that, I should be alive to trade live. Let's go. Let's be confident. Also, I believe it might be time to thank our friends at Moomoo.
Oh,
so we're going to do that really quickly before. Yeah. Oh no, sorry, not yet. That is in an hour. I'm ahead of
Oh,
my
we're
life.
in an hour? Okay,
Yeah, but
no worries.
there's stocks at 12:09.
Yeah,
but
so
I'll do
just
that.
let me
I'll let you know.
interrupt me when you're
But
ready.
we're going to oscillate now to learning.
We are. We're talking about momentum indicators all week, guys. Momentum oscillators, I should say. And so today, none other than the stochastic oscillator. Let's get right to it. And we'll compare the stochastic oscillator to the money flow index that we learned about yesterday. This is a little new theme I'm trying so that we can kind of keep our memory fresh about what we learned yesterday and also make comparisons to see which one is best suited for the current trading style or our trading style. So let's get right to it. As we always do, starting out with the basics, let's start by talking about some of the just general stuff about the stochastic oscillator. It is, as I mentioned, a momentum oscillator. We categorize these indicators into different groups. This one is a momentum oscillator. It measures the following: the closing price of a security relative to its high-low range over a specific period. We'll get more details in a second. It's often used, as a lot of these momentum oscillators are used for, to gauge overbought and oversold conditions. Comes at it a bit of a different way, though, some of the others. So we're going to talk about, the math, because we got math nerds out there. But before we do that, this is typically what it looks like on the chart. We always see, the indicator is at the bottom of the chart, below the price action, usually either above or below the volume. I'll never really remove the volume off my chart there. So you'll see there's two lines. We'll get to those lines in a hot second. But you'll also see there's a shaded area, that blue shaded area. This is the neutral zone for all my football fans out there. And typically, like we did with the money flow index yesterday, a print above 80, we are overbought. A print below 20, we are oversold. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Obviously not that easy IRL. Let's get to it. Calculation. It consists of two lines, okay? There is the percentage K line and the percentage D line. The percentage K line is calculated as follows. We're not going to go over this too much, but here it is. It is the close minus the low divided by the high minus the low multiplied by 100. That's the last time I'm going to say that, okay? The percentage D line, much more simple. It is a 3-period simple moving average of the K line. Where have we seen that before? Oh, I know, MACD, okay? So this is kind of a running theme where the second line is a derivative of the first line to help smooth it out. And, you can get those crossovers, bearish and bullish crossovers. We'll get to those in a sec. So essentially here, the close. When I say close on there, I'm talking about closing price. When I say high, obviously I mean the highest price on the day or the period. And when I say low, I'm talking about the lowest price on the day or on the period. So let's talk about these K lines and D lines. This percentage K line, what is it all about? So this percentage K line, it represents the current closing price relative to the recent high-low range. So a value of 100 for the K line, the percentage K line indicates that the closing price is at the highest point of the range, while a value of 0 indicates to you that the closing price is at the lowest point of the range. We nary get 100 and 0. We're usually somewhere in between, usually in between 80 and 20. The percentage D line, as I alluded to a little bit earlier, this is a smooth version of the percentage K line. It's calculated using a 3-period simple moving average of the percentage K line. The smoothing helps to reduce, obviously, the noise and makes the signal a bit more readable. That's the use of the percentage D line. That's the technical use, how it's employed IRL, a little bit different. And here's kind of what it looks like there. You've got the D line here in red. You've got the K line here in green. And you can see over here, the K period is 5 and the D period is 3. Get it, Adair.
And there's Stonks. Thank you very much to Stonks for sponsoring this portion of the show. You want a chance to win $10,000 today? Come on, guys. Stonks is giving out money daily, and entering is like super easy. All you have to do is predict the stock price after the earnings report. Today, we're going to be looking at Nvidia. All it takes is 30 seconds to join. You just have to go to stonks.com, sign up, and hit the Make Prediction button, and you could potentially win $10,000. It's that simple. Each day, you get 1 free ticket to predict. You want more chances? Share your referral link and get 5 extra tickets for each sign up. Go to stonks.com. Don't miss out. And good luck. Learning time.
Dalvin cooks the Cowboys, boys.
Oh, there are more sports things?
Yeah. Just telling them. I just want to get more hate from that side of the desk. And when you do that, I mention the Cowboys.
Oh, I know, because Katina's boys are like really young, right? The Sean ones are really young.
Yeah, they're quite young. All right, let's get to the next little slide over here using the percentage K line and the percentage D line. How do we use these? So we're going to talk about using them individually, and then we're going to talk about using them in combination. The Katina man's yelling about the market continuing to go down. 19.4, guys. The 100-point level getting breached right now. All sorts of blood. The blood is filling the streets of the market right now. All right, the percentage K line. That was a little anticlimactic. The percentage K line can be used to identify these overbought and oversold conditions, specifically here when the percentage K line itself, not both, the percentage K line on its own is above 80, it's indicating to you that the market might be overbought and a reversal may be imminent. When the percentage K line, conversely though, is below that 20 print on the scale, it indicates that the market is oversold and that a bullish reversal may be imminent to the high side here. The percentage D line, this can be used to confirm the signals of the percentage K line. For example, if the percentage K line is overbought, so the percentage K line above 80, but the percentage D line is still rising, not in overbought territory, it can suggest to you that the overbought condition could continue. So you need to keep an eye on what the K line is doing as well as what the D line is doing. There's all sorts of blood. I just saw Apple drop into 226 3/4. So you need to keep your eye on both the K line and the D line. If the K line is in overbought or oversold territory, you need to see what the D line is doing. If it also is in overbought or oversold territory, if it's not, if it's approaching that, then there may be more to go before you get that reversal. So super important to keep an eye on both lines. They don't mean the same thing, okay? And the percentage K line and the D line used together, when used together, they both can provide a more robust signal, specifically here, a bullish crossover. So now we're looking at it for the crossovers. When the percentage K line crosses above the percentage D line, or while a bearish crossover occurs when the percentage K line crosses down below the percentage D line, okay? These crossovers can signal potential trend reversals. So you need to keep an eye on that. So keep that in mind. The K line is the first step of the analysis. If it's above 80, if it's below 20. All right, then you've got either overbought or oversold conditions. Then you look to see what the D line is doing. If the D line has joined it above 80 or below 20, you should be looking short. If it's not above the D line, percentage D line, not above 20 or above 80 or below 20, but still approaching those values, there may be more to go before the reversal comes in. Keep that in mind. And here's what we're talking about when we talk about these oversold and overbought values. We have obviously both lines here being in oversold territory and both lines here being in overbought territory, but that's not always how it comes out. And keep in mind that you should be really looking or highlighting, if your program isn't, this above 80 and below 20 area. And here's basically what it looks like when the percentage K line crosses above. This is the bullish crossover as opposed to oversold and overbought conditions. So you have the percentage K line here, which is red, crossing below the percentage D line, and then conversely over here when the percentage D line crosses below the percentage K line. How do we use it for trading though? Like, what's the move? Okay, using the stochastic oscillator for trading. First of all, we kind of already alluded to it. You use it to identify overbought and oversold conditions. I'm not going to belabor that point again. You can also use it, like we mentioned yesterday, to confirm the trend. And you know, a lot of people will be like, well, why do I need it to confirm the trend? I can look at the price action. If the price action is making higher highs and higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs, I can kind of gauge that myself. But the point is, you want to see if it's jiving. Is there divergence or is there convergence? So you need to always make sure, whatever situation it is, you know exactly what's going on. Because if it's divergence, you need to have a bit of a different look. And that brings me to my next level, or my next point here, identifying divergence. When the stochastic oscillator diverges from the price, it can signal a potential reversal. For example, if the price is making new highs, but the stochastic oscillator is making lower highs, it could indicate bearish divergence there. So you need to be on the lookout for that. And so let's compare the stochastic oscillator with the indicator that we talked about yesterday, which is the money flow index. They're both momentum oscillators, but they don't use the same data to come to the same conclusion, which is overbought or oversold. So both the stochastic oscillator and the money flow index are momentum oscillators, as I just mentioned, but they can be used to identify overbought and oversold conditions and gauge potential reversals. Here are some key differences. The focus of the stochastic oscillator is on price momentum, while the money flow index really focuses not just on price, but really heavily weights volume. Stochastic oscillator doesn't look at volume at all. The calculation also for the two momentum oscillators is a little bit different. The stochastics is based on the closing price relative to the high-low range, while the money flow index is based on the positive and negative money flow coming in and out of the market. Completely different ways to reach the same kind of conclusion of overbought or oversold. And the sensitivity. The stochastic oscillator is actually a bit more sensitive to these shorter term price actions or price fluctuations, while the money flow index definitely a bit more sensitive in the shorter run to volume. So you could employ them together because you always want to confirm price and volume, right? So you can have the stochastics up there to gauge the price with a bit more accuracy, and the MFI to gauge volume and its effects on the market and the price action a bit more accurately. So keep those two in mind. That's really all that there is to it today. The stochastic oscillator is not too hard to use, but just ensure that when you are employing it, it works within your trading system and the time frame off which you're trading it there.
Yeah, I want to talk about SMCI. I just had a short. It was pretty dope. I just got out of the last piece. I'm really happy with what I did here because, like I said, what I'm trying to do while I'm in the sim is try to take the type of trades I'd be taking live. Now, SMCI, so I probably would take it with less size and definitely a lot more trepidation. I would still be taking it live. That's what I'm trying to do. So why am I not trading it in the sim? I don't know. Like I said, got a little bit chopped up, eaten alive on the long. I was very open about that. I was like, yeah, not a vibe, whatever, right? Had the long, and like I said, this actually would have been fun had I not fat fingered, but that's not the point. That's for aggressive journaling, which, by the way, because Sean was like, what's aggressive journaling? What it entails is a lot of journaling, a lot of reflection, just trying to make things make sense to me. Like I said, I have a lot of analogies that I like to apply to the market. So, for example, I like music, so it's like kind of like jazz piano, and we have to do a lot of like intense, fast, furious jazz piano in this SMCI. Because SMCI, I got short here. I was watching what we were doing here at the book. I just looked at my side charts and my side order books, and I looked at 410s. 410s, the way we slapped the bid, I've never seen in a spready stock. I'm telling you, this thing hit 410s with a 5-cent spread. For SMCI, that is unheard of. That is nuts. SMCI does not have a spread that small. So that, to me, to shout out Obi, was distinctly different. So I'm watching that. Then we break below 410s. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm okay with taking like a rip short here. If we get into like 410s, I'll risk it to 411s, or even better, what I wanted was to do 409s, risk it to 410s. I didn't get that. So I was like, cool, I'll wait to see if there's any other levels to set up. Then we get this 407 area. 407 hits. I know I watched what we did at 408. We held 408 pretty decently. So I said, hey, risk $1 here. You're trying to make minimum $2 because that was the previous low of day, just about 405. So I said, if I can get 405s here, I've made $2, I will risk. That worked out. We got our fill. I was like, dope, please just punch. Then I add back in here around 405.50s because that was like I think the technical previous low of day was 405.50. So I guess I was looking for a break of low of day. Got out 405s, then I added at 405.50s when we wicked back above that. That worked out. Then I was like, Adara, where do you get out? What I wanted was 400s. I knew that was really ambitious. That was very ambitious. But I said, Adara, see if you can get your 400 break. I did not get my 400 break, but then I was watching if there was anything in the book that would be distinct because initially I was trying to get out flat, but then I was like, let's see what happens if we continue to break lower. We were sticking to 403s like a glove. The lowest it got while I was in was that 401.25, is that current low of day. Then we bounced. So I said, you know what, Adara, if we get to 403s and we see things that switch up, get out at 403s. I got out at 403s. I was pleased as punch. Made like $2.50. I think I got out 404. So it's like $1.50 on that part of the position, $2 on the other part of the position. Pleased as punch. Really happy I tried this trade because I did get chopped up at the first trade, but the market knocks you down. You got to get back up, and you got to hear what Sharif's fist pumping about. Asked.
Oh, I told you, your girl is back, or I don't know if it's a girl or a guy. Sometimes you label them, sometimes you don't. Yeah, it's your friend. Good. We took 329 long. We just wet our beak at 350. This is a hell of a pullback that I got into. I absolutely love this entry. You know why? Because it's off a dang moving average. That's why. I like my moving averages. It's off the 10 on the 5, the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart, and there it goes. Now we're weaseling our way into highs. 373 HOD. This thing is printing 57s. The actual top, not the wick top, the actual closing print, 357. So if we can close above here on a 5-minute basis, that'll be the highest closing print. We're not there yet. We're working our way. This monster is up 84%. It's printed 45.5 million shares. It has a market cap of $11.5 million, and its float is a minuscule Adara, 899,000 shares. We're going to check the short float here on AST in a second, find out this thing can get parabolic. 5.78% of the 899 share float is shorted or borrowed for short. I should tell you that Trade Idea is saying 1.33 million share float. My brokerage saying 899,000. You can split the difference and do your thing there. Look at this thing go, bro. This guy's gonna break the high. I neither had enough shares, nor did I hold it enough. ASST, what a monster this is. I love my small cap gappers. And there goes the high of day. I suck. This one is really strong, 384. Now we could see 4 likely very soon. Let's do some charting here and find out where we could find that, I don't know, brick wall of selling. Okay, here, there's a lot of interaction between this name and 4. This is the daily chart on ASST, okay? And what we're seeing here is a move into 4. We have resistance near this 4 area multiple days. So you see days like this back in February when we got into the 200 exponential. We got into 438, but look where the closing prints are on both days. They're at $4. So there's a lot of interaction here with $4. I'm assuming, just an assumption, that if we weasel our way into 4, we'll be met with some selling. Now, here's the thing. When we were moving into this $4 area, we were below the 200 exponential on the daily. Now we're not. Like, look at where these wicks all hold up. They all seem to seize at the 200 exponential on the daily. That is no longer the case. We are well above the 200 exponential on the daily. It's hanging out at 250. We just printed 384. So do we have that same kind of aggressive selling at $4 that we did previously? Because again, we had the 200 exponential really holding us down. That's no longer the case. So I may not be as bearish as I just initially felt at $4. ASST, good move up here. Let's see if we can keep this one off or keep this one on the ropes. Shout out to the Katina man and Adara. Oh, I do have an ad read, so I have to, are we ready for that? Ram? Oh, I can do it. Here it is, Ram. See, Ram, like the thing is, I'm always ready.
He's always ready.
Yeah, Adara, you stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Literally.
Isn't that the thing?
That is the thing.
All right, are you tired of being late to the trade? Are you always playing catch up in the market? Are you missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Well, Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else and pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving, and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Are you ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? If you are, then visit benzinga.com/pro and get yourself that free 14-day trial Adara.
Aren't free 14-day trials fun? Yes, they are.
They are.
So I got back in SMCI as a short because I got short at 402. I was going to risk like a little bit of 403, see what we did there, because I said that 403 level in the book, like, I have no words. It was wild. Vicky Novak, shout out to you. I know you trade SMCI. I was saying in the chat there, SMCI bounced. And I said, I'll believe that SMCI bounced if it reclaims 403. We reclaimed 403. So now I'm looking at SMCI potentially as a long. Now I know, like, you know, you could you could be like Adara. There are other stocks. There are. And I fully understand that. And I have got all of my friends on my side charts. Shout out to the side charts. Hashtag side chart nation. No disrespect to Sticky Note Nation, the superior nation. But side chart nation over here. Basically, the reason I want to stick with SMCI for now is because I do like trading these spreadier names. Shout out to Miguel Lopez, who was giving me some comments there. I really appreciate that. Earlier in the day as well, recommending Lulu and Cost. I love Lulu, so shout out to I Love Lucy. So I'm very excited for Lulu earnings on Thursday night. But yeah, basically, the reason I want to stick with SMCI is because I am in the sim right now. If these are the type of trades I want to trade live, I think I should be trading them in the sim. I should be getting that practice because you should be practicing how you perform. If I want to trade spready stocks live, I'm going to trade them in the sim. I'm going to take those reps in, get that workout. Arguably, I should have canceled my order for the short. I should have known this would not necessarily work out. And I only say that because the way we were pushing up the bid, I was like, Adara, canceled. And I was like, no, Adara, your plan. And my sides of me were fighting. And yeah, anyways, the point is 403 stays interesting to me on SMCI. Keeping it on my side chart.
Nice trade, Adara.
Thank you. What? we had like one nice trade, a couple meh ones.
Well, I
but
saw a couple of ads there.
there,
to cover
there
for
were some
several
ads.
dollars. Yeah.
That worked out. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Sharif. Yeah, that was a nice little winner there. But Nvidia is another one I have eyes on. I said to Sharif, if I see anything set up in Nvidia, I'm going to prioritize that today because I want to be practicing trading this one before earnings tomorrow. I have not been, well, they're tonight, but day one tomorrow. I have not traded Nvidia in many moons. I like Nvidia here as we're trying to push above that 50s area. Let's see what we do here. But there's a lot of different multicolors coming in this book. This tape is like tasting the rainbow. Shout out to Skittles. All of the colors coming in. Huge buy orders, huge sell orders. What are we to do? We're gonna have to find out here in Nvidia. But I do like. I want to trade this one. If anything sets up, I want to prioritize trading that because I want to be able to get back in the habit of trading Nvidia ahead of those earnings. We did not plan the shirts, I promise.
I did, yeah.
But what did we have Sean having the button about? What happened there?
What do you
I know
mean?
he had his dollar club.
Oh, yeah, the Katina Man is long, 122.60s on 122.70. I stand corrected. On NVDA, the Katina Man is buying the dip long on Nvidia. And if you're following the Katina Man's trades, if you're following Neil's trades, Ram, then it behooves me to tell you that we have another channel called More Trader TV Live. As you see on the right side of the channel there, the Katina Man's position is not accurate on there. It'll update in a second. It's about a 5-minute delay, but you'll be able to see his positions, where he's gotten in, what he's trading. Look at that. Neil's still holding Chewy. Neil's still long AMD. You'll be able to see all the updated headlines as well as the biggest movers. Shout out to Adara, who does a hell of a job putting that together in the morning as well. So that is More Trader TV Live, and the link is in the description of the video. All right, back to Asked here, Ram, because I've been trying, to pretend like I've been getting better as a trader, and I don't want to let this one off the hook. So that was a big move down after it printed a new high, but guess what? It held up above the 10 exponential. So I was never really biased on this, despite the fact that the flushing came fast and furious. And that's what these small cap gappers do. So if you don't like that fast and furious drop, then don't trade them. But this is an ugly candle. By any standard of the imagination, if you move up this aggressively, print a new high, and you have that much of a topping tail and that small of a body, you're pretty bearish. The only thing that really kept me from not being bearish, it didn't even touch the 10 exponential, topping tail or not. It did, and the subsequent candle, this one that we're on currently, didn't make a new low. So what do I have to be bearish about? So now I'm still bullish on the name until I see something distinctly different. Shout out to Obe. He is the one. Kanob, right at that 320 area was also good because it was a not consolidation area top, but it was an area top. This 320, we rejected 3 times here, 3 5-minute candles. You couldn't breach that area. We clear it, we come back, we defend it. It just happened to be the 10 exponential on the 5. So that is an interesting look there for ASST. Still very much involved, but I'm going to have to ask the big kahunas when they have a second how much these shorts would cost me on ASST. I do appreciate any help we can get with that. Thank you, gentlemen. So we'll keep an eye on ASST because it is putting 2 topping tail candles right now. And you don't have to invite me twice, Adara. Once I see these bad boys giving up the bid, or give up the bid, then, pardon me? No, I didn't. I just, yeah, thank you, Neil. I appreciate that. Yeah, usually I do Katina Man, but with this one I was kind of biased. There's another one here, guys. There's not just one small cap gapper. Let's get together. It's my chart here. Neon, N-E-O-N. Ram finds me funny. Nobody else does.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I laugh. I laugh. I've been able to laugh.
7 1/4 Adara, the high a day on this bad boy. The only concern that I have with Neon here, it's done 1/3 million shares. That's not going to cut it for a $7 name. I need more than that. But here's a look. It's $108 million market cap, as I mentioned. 1/3 million shares traded. 10 1/4 million share float. And the short float is, we didn't shout at the Nos Boss and his crew today, 1.81%. So not a whole lot to talk about other than the fact that it's really holding the 10 exponential on the 5 quite well. You do have these outlying wick candles that could bamboozle you, but they do seem to bounce off areas of lower support. VRAX, I have this one as well on watch. The issue with this one is it gave up the goods at VWAP there. Right, thank you. I appreciate that, Neil. Let me just look at that real quick. Shout out to Neil Roberts for hooking me up with that. How much that going to cost me? It's going to cost me $3.16 for big boy shares. So I'm going to go ahead with that, Neil. Thank you. I do appreciate that. But going back to VRAX, this one was well above the volume weighted average price. It opened up very aggressively. Then the topping tail candle really brought everything down. It broke down below VWAP. Then this is not a bad look. It started using VWAP as resistance. You got to love that as long as it features some way, somehow, and so you can utilize it. This one looks awfully good right now as a possible short. A move back into the volume weighted average price. I'm very interested. So much so that I'm actually going to peg my notification, which I figured out how to do, to the volume weighted average price. So we're going to leave that one to cook and see what's up. Chewy, you saw the big kahunas already trade up a storm on Chewy. It looks like it might be setting up for a gnarly head and shoulders here. We'll wait and see. I like it off VWAP right now, though, trying to find support generally at that $29 area, where we had an area of resistance earlier right off the open there at around 950. We were rejecting off 920. Or sorry, 29. What am I getting together? So we'll see if that one can bounce or what. MNKD, a holdover from yesterday. Another great look. Very much respectful of the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. The only issue with MNKD is, again, the volume. It's okay. Where is it going here? 5 million shares for a $6 name, $1.6 billion market cap, not a small cap gapper, and the float's large at 266,000. And one more time, I'll just tell you about the short float there, MNKD. It is 14.6% on this company, Mankind Corporation. So yeah, that could be obviously interesting. SMCI on the side chart over here, as well as KSS, Kohl's, an earnings winner, Adair.
Yeah, so Nvidia, we took 50 pennies here in the first half of that long, or I guess first 2/3. So my thesis with Nvidia, and I didn't even realize Sean was long at this point. I mentioned this. I liked what we were doing here on the book at that 123.60. So I watched this bounce off 123.40s a couple times. Then I got long 55. I was going to risk into 40s, risking 15 cents. I was looking here for the area I liked was at 124.35. So like risk to reward making sense here.
Oh my God.
Then basically what happened was I got involved and I said, hey, if we can clear 80s, because that was definitely a bit of a wick area of resistance, I want to add here. So I did add at 80s. Initially we couldn't clear it. Then I switched my stop to break even, which was at the time 123.62s. Yeah, we kept pushing higher. So I was like, dope. Then what I was looking for was anything on the book to give me a reason to leave. So what I noticed was as we got into 124.20s, we had a really hard time breaking it. I said, Adara, you saw like 124 break was actually pretty clean. It was more of the breaks into 124s, like that 124.05s, 124.10s. I said, Adara, if you can't hold 124.10s here, get out 2/3 here, save a piece for the dream. We did, in fact, get out 2/3 of this here position at 124.08 because I didn't like what we were doing there. But honestly, Sharif, we are like about to be like 75 cents in the money here. If we can get 124.50s, it is the sim. To clarify, it's the sim. But it doesn't matter. It's about the processes. Shout out to real trading. Whether or not we are sim, whether or not we are live, we're making real trades. We're making trades we believe in. Like I was more worried here about the resistance at 124.35, which is why I got some out. If we break below 35s, I'll get out the rest here. I don't need. Like I said, that's one of my favorite things about being able to trade here in the sim, just as practice when things are not going necessarily as well as you want them to. You can and do have the opportunity to switch it up, switch the style up. If they hate, let them hate. Yeah. Watch the money pile up. That's one thing you got to know. Shout out to Nvidia. Also shout out to any stocks you guys are looking at. Get in that chat. Exclamation point join. Space $. Whatever ticker you are interested in here. Sim is a huge difference, LOL, says Josh S. I don't disagree. Like, I've had some trades here that I think have gone better on the sim than they have live, but honestly, that's what the sim, it's for practicing. It's for getting those reps in, right? And I want to be able to practice the way I'm going to trade. I would 100% take this trade live. I 100% would take those SMCI trades live, and so I think that's what matters. I know, sometimes the mental can be different, but if you're taking the same types of trades, it shouldn't have to be. Shout out to SMCI, though, by the way, because, hey, girl, how you doing? I just pushed back my chair so I can let SMCI know I'm watching. That was weird. SMCI 408. I was initially short 407s and got, was using 408 as my stop. Now, I don't want to be clear. To be clear, I have no interest in just because I used that previous level, that doesn't mean it's a level, right? I used it, so it clearly was a level to me, but that doesn't mean SMCI cares about my level. I'm just one person trading. However, if SMCI reclaims this 408, I am deeply interested in a trade here. And I would risk it to 407s because the way this book is consolidating is beautiful. We're doing like a little bit of like this two-step between 407 and 408. I'm watching you, Mickey. Just know I'm always watching you. SMCI, okay, I like that reclaim of 408 here. If we can hold this reclaim, I'm going long, I'm risking, yeah, we're gonna do this. Taking a smaller position here, I know it's in this, like I said though, I still wanna be using the same processes. I love all the green we got coming into the bid. I will be watching to see what we do at 410s because 410 was a huge level for me. Like I said, I've never seen SMCI spread as tight as it was as we pushed into 410. Hashtag spread wash, I'm owning it now. It was a thing I said as a typo, but now I'm owning it. So, Freddie the Friendly Guy, thank you for the kind words there. I appreciate it. Saying go NVDD, so I guess you're pleased as punch there, Freddie the Friendly Guy. Nvidia $1 club, Sean?
$2 club.
Nvidia. Wow, guess I left that Nvidia party early, but you got to trade your plan, trade your book. That's one of the things I love about this show. We're all going to trade a little bit differently. Sometimes we'll trade the same tickers in different directions or different plans. And that's like no two traders are alike, no two snowflakes are alike. Speaking of Snowflake, I don't know why I thought of this. Let's talk about some of these other earnings names here, because Snowflake is not reporting, but there are some other ones reporting tonight. Oh, CRM. Oh, this would be criminal. Shout out to Crim. Not to talk about the CRM move. I like this higher low. I like where we're pushing that 260-60s. This is kind of interesting to me here, what we've got going on here in CRM. What about Crowd? CrowdStrike. This is one I will definitely be watching on earnings. This is a spreadier ticker. I do like those kinds of names. Okay, CrowdStrike actually looking kind of similar to SMCI here, and by that I mean they're making a nice little recovery off the lows, pushing their little heads above their 9 EMAs. Let's see what we do if we can reclaim that 263.67, but I'm not trading this one today. Volume is a little bit lighter, not going to be my type of move, though I am going to prematurely put it in my side chart for tomorrow's earnings. Also a firm. It's on watch. Talk about a firm. So AFRM, lower highs, lower lows, they're also reporting tonight here, but they're trying to do a little bit of a move. If we can reclaim 31s, look at all these topping tails at 31s. If we can reclaim 31s, that might be interesting to me. Then I would like to see us actually get into that 31.15 area that we've wicked into on both sides. Also, yeah, I know I have been, thank you guys for bearing with me here. This market is so exciting, and I do like to talk fast because you got to keep up with these here markets. Did not get my fill at SMCI, 408s, unfortunately. But if we hold up 410s in a way that I like, I don't mind chasing. I want to chase. You don't want to go chasing waterfalls, especially when those waterfalls move in the way that SMCI does. But that push into 410 is gorgeous. We are going to get some here at 410s. We're gonna risk into 408s. I'm cool with that. Let's see what SMCI can do for us here, Sharif. How are you
just
doing?
A second, just because I'm in a bigger position, so I just have to manage it. Yeah.
What are other people looking at here? What has me concerned is that gap below in the Qs, says Trader Forever. Let's talk about what's going on here in that gap in the Qs on, oh yeah, I didn't realize we were down this much in the Qs. Wow, down more than 1%. They are trying to push higher, along with mirroring a lot of what we're seeing in these Mag 7 names. Okay. Yeah, these Qs are very interesting here. I find this level that we have kind of going on at 42 is a little interesting. Bumping our heads up it a couple times, now rejecting it once again. So I think, I don't want to say double top because this was not the top, but there has been a couple areas here of rejection at 482s on the Qs. If you look at that chart, you seem pleased as punch, Sharif. So I want to hear what happened there.
Katina, man, it's coming, it's coming. I promise you it's coming. Bro, I started sweating up a storm. I need another water, Katina, man. Oh my God. Yeah, I had some big shares there inadvertently. Yeah, thanks, Remmer. He's on the mic. He's on the mic. There he is.
So I looked over, and Sharif was talking about how he's being in a bigger position, and I was like, that was great. And I just think that that's what it's all about. We hear Adara talk about going into sim mode. I'm going to talk to Adara. I don't think she should go into sim mode. We'll talk about that after. I just think that was a good move by Sharif. There is times to load up shares, and there's times to take some risk. And I think like right now, that's what you eventually want to do. I mean, he can go back and talk about it. But then he said, and he kept it real. He's like, he was sweating. Like it was more shares than he's used to with Nvidia. And I was just saying that used to be me at one point, and then you got to switch it up and switch your style up. It's not even about switching the style up. Actually, I take that back. It's just about getting more risk into the game, right? I mean, if you think you have a good trade on, you should put it on. I mean, we did that today, and I just want to say congratulations to Sharif. Even though if it was an accident or not, it's good to at least hold that many shares so you could feel that it's fine. That's what it's about. And I said, come on, somebody join me. Maybe Sharif is the next one, guys. Let's go.
Man. Look, it's good vibes, Katina. You know, you don't get a name like that just accidentally or haphazardly. He's always pushing us, straight up. He is always pushing us, and not because he has any personal gratification from pushing those around him. I think he just genuinely wants the floor to be better, straight up. So we're going to love the Katina man's attitude, and we're going to champion that any day of the dang week. All right, so this is a trade that I had. I'm happy with it here. It was definitely not as eloquently executed as I would have liked, but I'm positive on the name. But I got to tell you, I see blood everywhere here, really, except on Nvidia on the Mag 7. Look at all these bad boys. They're all retracing into the 10 exponential with obvious weakness. I mean, the future is below the 10 exponential. Softy, Meta, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, Google, well, you know, Google's been doing its thing 21 lately. It's at the 10 exponential, giving it up right now. Nvidia is really the only one above it. And that's probably for obvious reasons. There's a lot of interest today in the name. It's done 161 million shares, and we haven't hit noon yet. So lots of negativity. Now I'm going to be really looking to get short off a deeper moving average here. We've done the 10 exponential to death. And now I'd like a nice move up, maybe breaching 19.4, weaseling up maybe into 19.450, whatever. I want a good, nice move up, and that we can short the pop, the umbrella pattern, whatever pattern you want to call it. Shout out to Adara.
I love that umbrella pattern.
Yeah. So that's the look there. I'm very interested. Don't forget, guys, I still have shorts in ASST. So please, if ASST starts giving up the ghost, just yell at me in the chat, tag me, whatever. I'm going to do my darndest to put the alerts out near the volume weighted average price, because I won't short this above VWAP. But VWAP is dynamic, right? So I put it where VWAP is, and then in half an hour, VWAP's somewhere completely different. These small cap gappers are not giving up. ASST is not giving it up. Neon is not giving it up. Chewy is not giving it up either, nor is Mankind, MNKD. They're very bullish looking patterns on all four. Looks fantastic. So if you want to go long something and you want to stay away from these market connected names like the Mag 7, the chips, and whatever else, you've got some options here, baby. There's lots of earnings names that you can play. Kohl's is at VWAP. This could be interesting because we know big money uses VWAP to judge their traders on how well they did on the day. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, so say, for example, I'm a big sovereign wealth fund, hedge fund, whatever. KSS reports, I like to report, and I tell my traders on the floor, I'm like, hey, get me 500,000 shares of KSS. Obviously, the assignment here is to get the best price possible. You can't possibly tell a trader, go get me the worst price possible. So how do they judge the traders on how well they did that day? Well, they base the average price that they got on that day relative to where VWAP closes on the day. So VWAP is used by institutional money. Therefore, I'm interested in it because institutional money is the money that moves the market. It's not my money. It's not your money, unless you're really rich. It's the volume. It's the institutional money. So anyway, I'm looking at the side chart here, seeing where the volume weighted average price is at 2060. It is making lower highs and lower lows. We're right at 2060 right now. I don't need to be first into this trade, knowing full well that can weasel into 21. I need proof that it's going to hold up at the volume weighted average price. I'm going to wait for the next candle to make green, and then I'll look at that. Vikian Novak saying Upstart, moving long. Let's have a look at UPST. Upstart, obviously, had a good little catalyst there the other day. I remember that, yeah, look at this. Off the low there from Black Monday to the high. Adara from Black Monday to the high, we're up 125% on Upstart from Black Monday to today. We're up 125% on Upstart. That's crazy. So good look there.
I love how much you use that tool, by the way.
Yeah, because it's so easy to use.
It is,
you know
really
what I mean?
cool.
Like,
it gives you a nice little perspective.
Yeah, so shout out to Vicky and Novak. Let's have a look at Upstart on the day. So obviously, like with the overall market, taking a bit of a hit, but the bounce back is coming in here. It looks like it found its footing a little in front of 42, right at that 42.10 area. Now we're knocking on the door of 42.75, and we could be knocking on the door of 43 soon, Adair.
Yeah, so I am back in SMCI. Someone was saying, oh, Adore loves SMCI. Yeah, I do adore SMCI or Adare, whatever you want to say. And that's because I like trading these spready tickers. I would say that is my style. It's kind of my, I don't want to say it's my oeuvre, but it's the type of trading I'm definitely a little bit more comfortable with because I love patterns, and you can find those on these spready stocks. So for example, I got long 410s. 410s was like, to me, a huge level on the way down. Like I said, I've never seen the SMCI spread as tight as it was as we broke below 410s. Or, yeah, I guess back below 410s, like around here. But then the level that I also really liked, as I mentioned, was 408. I couldn't get long 408, so I was like, you know what? Get long 410 if that holds. It held for a while. It was holding really well, nicely. Then risk into 408s. So we break to 408, Sharif, and I'm starting to get worried. My trigger finger's starting to get itchy. We bounce beautifully off 408s. So I was like, okay, that's what I want to see. I want to see that book spread, and that's why I like trading these spreadier names, because I feel like I like charts as well. Obviously, you want to trade in tandem with the chart, but sometimes I feel like I see the patterns a little bit more clearly, and I feel more comfortable based on what I see in the book. I also want to address the fact that I am back in the sim. So I definitely do not want to stay here. That is not the plan, and actually, as counterintuitive as it may seem, the reason I went back in the sim is because I want to be more comfortable trading live. So let me back up. I had a bad week last week. I was very open about that. So I was just like, I think I need to just, you know, like I said, the tired trading has been more of a thing lately. Trademark, tired trading? No, I'm joking. Tired trademark? No. But basically, I thought the kind of the best thing for me to do, just because I don't want to, you know, we're very lucky to be trading here at Real Trading, and I did not want to be throwing all my risk all willy-nilly. So I wanted to take a little bit of a break, ease down, slow down, and trade. I go back in the sim, just kind of, I don't know, this is a funny super chat, to focus myself a little bit. So that's what I did. I went live yesterday briefly, got shut down. So I'm like, I definitely just think it's better for me for now to be in the sim. That being said, I would love to be going live again tomorrow because we have Nvidia earnings, but we also have CrowdStrike earnings. And then Friday we have Lulu. So with a lot of my favorite tickers to trade coming into earnings, Lulu, I want to be there for that. Also, shout out to JKL146 with this 199 super chat that made both Sharif and I laugh. Oh, Nvidia, it's breaking near 125.
There's no connection with that company.
No, not at all. Shout out to, he's still Jenny from the block, Sharif. There, Jensen with his leather jacket, which Sharif said.
And you.
And I said as well, I will do it.
So, you know, we started a little trend last year. We didn't continue with it, but I'm going to bring it back. If Jensen beats today, I'm wearing my jacket all day tomorrow, whether I sweat or whatever. No, I'm kidding, of course. We're going to take it off. We can't be that unpresentable. We are on.
Yeah, I'm not walking in my leather jacket, to be clear. I'm bringing my leather jacket, lugging it over my shoulder.
We got to pay homage to the man. It's ridiculous what he's been able to do. Okay, I want to tell you something. There's a dude who put $25K in Nvidia back in 2016.
Okay.
How much is that worth nowadays? No, $2 million.
$2 million.
Chilean nightmare. $2 million. So he puts computers together, and he was like using their products all the time. Yeah. He's like, these are really good products. You know, I want skin in the game.
He wants to invest.
That's exactly what it was. And he's printing up a storm there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, does that mean we have to wear suede jackets now when Zuck reports?
Oh, well, no, I don't do it for Zuck, but I like Zuck.
No, because he's not Jensen.
We need to make a statue of Ram. Chill out there, bro.
That was pretty funny. Also, vote for your tickers, guys. Exclamation point, join space, $, that ticker. Ooh. How goes Kiss? Are you giving Kiss any kisses and hugs?
I'm not. Adara broke down below the volume with average price, but I want to tell you guys that the afternoon segment is nothing without you. If you don't vote for the tickers, really, Neil and Sean, they have nothing to talk about between 2 and 220. And if you want to know how they would have traded it, not how Adara and I would have traded it, get into the chat right now, exclamation point, the word join, space, $, and your favorite ticker. 100 miles per hour is talking about Nvidia. So vote for Nvidia, my man. Random Oddities is talking about SMCI, SMCI. Get into the chat, vote for SMCI. I bet you they have something to talk about there. My man Spencer is talking about PDD. He says they're making a move. Throw PDD into the chat. Vote for that. ASST says Onuview going to go bye-bye soon. I'm looking right at it. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. You want to see how Neil would have traded ASST, not my schmuck hands over here? Get into the chat and vote for ASST. Eugenio wants to see the VIX. Neil will look at the VIX. Sean will look at the VIX. Get into the chat right now. Vote for the VIX. And Jay Lee, he's been shorting up a storm on SOX S, and he's printing up a storm. Get into the chat. Vote for SOX S. And yeah, and we'll talk about it later. All right, here's the look right now. I'm about to open up here a possible trade on one of these Mag 7 names because.
Ooh, which one?
Well, it really looks like it's going to be Nvidia here, Dara, because it's breached the 10 exponential on the 5 on a closing basis. Now it's knocking the door of the 20. It doesn't really have an area of technical resistance until it gets into that 125.50. We have a bit of a double bottom there at 1045 and 1050. Above that level, we're looking at the volume weighted average price at 125, almost 126. And then we're really looking at this area, crest over here. It's the same area. It's about 126. I think 126 would be an interesting area to short. We'll see, but Nvidia is just rocketing up, man. It's well off the lows, about almost $3 off the lows there, 125, coming into the 20 exponential. Lots of strength right now on Nvidia, really recovering from the dump, only now 2.4% in the negative, really working its way back possibly into the volume weighted average price. You're also starting to see, the future move back up, but you're not getting that aggressive move on some of the Mag 7 names. Apple's dead money. Started off very strong, but very dead today. So is Amazon. Microsoft is also quite weak. None of them can get above the 10 exponential on the 5. However, you've got the likes of Meta. It's breaching the 10, the 20, and now it's on its way to VWAP. Meta, very strong right now. I would say it's equally as strong as Nvidia. Look at this. It's moving right back into the volume weighted average price, 516.50. Is it a short there? Are we going long through VWAP? It's at VWAP now, baby. Let's see. Let's see what Meta does at this level. So lots of aggression right now coming in on the Zuck train off that 513.25 low, and now we're talking about 516.50. Meta to go green, got to weasel its way back above 519. We're still down half a point a dare.
Yeah, we still don't have a point right now, though. SMCI trade continuing to rustle up a little bit. I added, this is a planned addition, because that 412 area we couldn't break. I said, if we can break 412, I want to add a little bit of smoke, because I had a pretty small position to begin with. Added a scintilla of shares, so I added less than the initial position here. Wasn't a huge add, but I just wanted a little bit more, because I have the feeling that if SMCI goes, it shall go. Shout out to Elon saying it's a little, brave SMCI logo. I think that's fair. I really am just going based on the book and what I have. I mostly, if I trust anything in these here markets, Sharif, I trust my read on the order book. And we are going to be here almost $2 in the money on SMCI as we push higher. Let's see here. I want to take some out at 414. 414, as you know, was a level. Maybe you don't know. I was obsessed with 414 there on the way up. I think 414 could be some resistance. We're going to take 40% out of this position at 414. To be clear, I started at 410. That would be $4 in the money with this part of the position.
Wow.
Let's see what we can do. This is the type of trading I've always wanted to do live, because I feel like for whatever reason, the mental processes maybe are not there. Maybe I'm just not taking the right reps. Maybe I'm trading too tired, but that's why I'm in the sim for now. Like I said, the plan is not to stay here. But it's like when you're working out at the gym, you're just like, taking your reps, doing your sets, whatever you want to do. Let's see if we can hold here. I want to see us hold 412. That would give me a lot more confidence here. 412 where the players maybe dwell. If we can bounce off 412, because like I said, that was a level of resistance I found earlier. We can use that 412 as support. I would be down indeed. Let's see if we can push a little bit higher here on the SMCI one. One thing I want to work on as well, and shout out to Miguel Lopez who was talking about this in the chat, I definitely, especially with these spready tickers where they move a little bit more in a volatile way, I need to have a much more clear game plan in terms of where I want to be piecing out as I go and where I want to move my stops. Because that's something I will fully admit I'm still working on, like in terms of where to move the stops, where it makes sense to move the stops. I know some people use like the prior bar highs and lows. You hear Obi talk about that quite a bit. Shout out to him when he's on the show. So I definitely I would say I have a playbook in terms of I like my spready tickers. I know what I'm looking for in my spready tickers, and I like my SPY and Tesla scalps. But I think my playbook should definitely be more defined when it comes to risk management. And that's, again, why I feel very, very blessed to be learning in front of everyone here.
Bang. Because
that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. I don't know why I was singing the hokey pokey. But let's see if SMCI can hokey poke above that 414 level. Thank you, Hey Davis. I also hope I print like a printer. That would be great here. Go live, Adara, only if you want to. I like the bracket says gatekeeper. Yeah, I've been, like I said.
She was live for a minute.
I've been live for a minute. I just didn't like what the live trading had been doing in the last couple of minutes there, so that's why I stopped. But if you have any tickers, get in that chat, ! join space $ ticker, whatever ticker that is. We would love to hear, we'd love to talk about it. And again, it doesn't just have to be mega caps, though. I would not be shocked, nor would I blame anyone if Nvidia ends up the top dog. But you guys, you got crowd tonight too. You got Crum, you got CRM, right? You got Salesforce. Maybe you want to hear if the buyers or sellers are in force on Salesforce. Maybe you want to hear about that Affirm. Let's find out what happens here. Let's do things. SEC file. Some people were talking here about the BLS. stuff with a job. So basically what I heard of that was they said it was a quote unquote mishap. If you remember, we had those BLS filings coming out a little later than the world was hoping for. They were supposed to come out at 10 last Wednesday. It ended up coming out at 10:35. So they said they're going to be working on that.
Any commentary have you heard from analysts about CrowdStrike? Not CrowdStrike, excuse me, CRM, Salesforce?
CRM, I haven't heard much.
Okay.
Honestly, CrowdStrike, to me, like I've said this for a while, that's the earnings report I am the most excited about. And I say that because like I think it'll be really spicy, really, I'm really curious as to what they say in terms of guidance. We had Snowflake melt last time because on those earnings, then also we got Zscaler next week. So lots of these reports in that cybersecurity space. We had Pandub last week as well. So I think what what Crowd does is going to be the most interesting to me. I haven't heard anything on CRM, but let's see if that stock goes penny off in that report. How is your Nvidia?
I don't know how you do this.
I just love that entry point.
I just printed a break above the $0.50 I'm Gonzino. It's the first red candle that's actually manifested here on the 5 chart. I've already wet my beak for 15 pennies. Now we're 15 pennies more in the money. Let's see if we can continue down. A move up above the $0.50 I'm gone. I've only got a little bit left on this one, but I'm going to keep Nvidia on the ropes here. Look, I know I'm kind of taking the strongest name short, but there was this area over here. This is what got me interested. There's a whole lot of whiffling and waffling at 125.50. We work our way back into 125.50. Then all of a sudden we're having problems. So I was like, okay, if this is good an area as any, and I'm already profitable on it, so I'll give this one the old community college try. If it breaks above 125.50, I'm Gonzino. But I'd love like a move back into 125. I think that's quite reasonable. Let's hang out at around let's put it at a lucky number 7. We'll put it there. If we get stopped out, we get stopped out. But I am seeing strength on the actual future itself because I was looking for a move back below 19.4. That move below 19.4 doesn't look like it's going to be forthcoming all that quickly. So right now, we're about 5 pennies out of the money on this trade as it works its way back in. I'm keeping an eye here on Meta also because there was an obvious mistrade here that I had on Meta that I actually called out and didn't take, and I guess that's the most frustrating of them all. Look at this topping tail. Right into VWAP, I just said, this was an obvious area of possible resistance. It went into 516 3/4, and now it's giving you 515 1/4, 515 1/2. So the strength, local strength there, definitely performing better on the day is Meta. It's only down 0.73, so it's only second to Apple. Apple's only the better one right now, 0.57 in negatory land, but that's a look. All right, Nvidia gonna stop me out here as we get taken out through the break of the $0.50. I'll look to short again, possibly at the volume weighted average price, but right now it looks like the future is really being carried here by some of these chips because it looks like the chips are recovering better than the actual Mag 7. Look at the future over here, above the 10, going into the 20. You're not seeing that right now on any Mag 7 name except Nvidia. Tesla trying to work its way back into the 20. It's not above the 20 though. Let's have a look at the chips. So I created I created a chart here for all the chips, and there you go. Look at the move back on the chips. It's way more aggressive than the move on the Mag 7. So you have Nvidia up here, AMD here. Sorry for this. Intel, Taiwan Semi, AMAT, Micron, Qualcomm, and SMCI. Obviously, SMCI not participating in that nice move up. It's got its own reasons at the moment, but it's well off the low of $410.50. Oh, sorry, $11.50. Yeah, SMCI moves dollars at a time, baby. Adair will tell you all about that.
Yeah, I did get wicked out of the SMCI here, unfortunately. We got to 410. I was like, got to get out there. So lost 80 cents for most of that, and then part of it I wasn't able to get out right away. But basically, that I'm a little bit disappointed in myself because SMCI does not care about your feelings, nor does any stock. But I had 414 that I pegged as the level, right? I was going to get 40% out of 414. The closest we get on the ask is 413.75. And I should have seen that. I was like, Dara, just get out 413.50s. By the time I made that call, SMCI was like, bye-bye. To be clear, is SMCI still holding higher lows? Yes, it is. We're now holding initially 408. Now we're at like 409.50.
Yawn out a storm.
Thank
there
you, Ramin,
go.
saying yawn it out. Shout out to Ramin. Yawn it out. Yawn it out. The trader's gonna trade. I can't believe I'm singing Taylor Swift. He's gonna yawn it out, shake it off, all of that stuff there. I wish I harvested an SMCI. Did not work out quite how I wanted to. Just short GME, says White Nubian King in the chat. GME, actually, they're supposed to report not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that. So after the close, let's take a look at GME. Promise I'm all good, guys, there with the energy. Oh, wow.
What?
GME.
Gumma? Gumma's tanking, huh?
Yeah, well, that's what's interesting. It tanks, and then it forms this bottoming tail candle at 20s. So this is kind of interesting to me. That being said, this is an umbrella candle pattern if I've ever seen one, Sharif.
Oh.
With a sharp sell-off, we have a steep curve up, then we get a very bearish candle at the top of the steep curve up, and then you have to prepare for more showers to the downside.
Oh.
So get your umbrella Ella out here for GME, because that thing went to the downside. But like I said, this is a very bullish candle coming back up. This one's bamboozling, but to be fair, it's known for being bamboozling. Shout out to as well to Miguel Lopez saying Lulu has lots of confluence on the daily going into earnings tomorrow. Previous daily support on the upward trend line and on the 30 daily MA. I am, well, they were, so the first, I just typed Moo. Yikes. Shout out to Moo, our sponsor, but I typed MUMU, which is kind of weird. But Lulu, they actually report tonight or tomorrow night, so they're going to be, day one for Lulu is going to be Friday. So that's what I'm waiting for here. Like I said, that's why I'm trying to get some sim trades under my belt so I can be more comfortable trading this one live. Oh!
I think this is like 4 or 5, and we've just finished the hour.
Well, you got to know what I'm pushing back on here, Sharif. Look at that 259. I mentioned this level yesterday. We can hold this as support. I agree, Miguel Lopez. This is a great look, and then I would want to see what we do here around that 275. So thank you. Shout out to you there. Spy Pop, Chef's Kiss says Vicky on. Oh, wow. So I've talked a lot about 558 support on the SPY. I talked about how I was waiting for that short on 558 on the SPY a lot last week. When it finally hit, did it hit? But today, we wicked just below 558, but we bounced off 557. Low of day 557.70 here. Look at that push up to 558. If we can continue to clear this level, I do like this look. Like I said, I have 2 playbooks to the SPY. One is to take it off of levels I've watched on the book that I have previous confluence for in the book and the tape. My second trade with the SPY is going to be whole dollar breakouts. If we get 559, that's a level I like. I shall be keeping an eye on this here chart. Wow, the Qs are strong here as well. What do you feel? How is the AST?
I'm not in it yet, but I'm about to get in it. Adair, it held the 10 exponential again, so now we're going to take it out if it breaches the $0.50. So that's the look there. We're going to go into that. Where are we? 63s. Okay, that's good. So we'll put it there. We'll see if we can move back up here on ASST. Look, it's not the strongest name, but it's up 89%. Let's put some respect on its name. Maybe we'll get back. We'll have a good story to tell you here about ASST. But right now, it is time for the Neilage, baby. Neil's lesson of the day.
Welcome to the lesson of the day, brought to you by SMCI. I mean, let's be real, right? Like, there's obviously a lot of focus waiting for 4 o'clock and anticipation of 4 o'clock for Nvidia, but Nvidia simply is not going to move the way SMCI did today. Many stocks are unable to move the way SMCI did. It's not often that you're going to get a situation where you have a company this size with a short seller report one day and then delaying their 10K filing the day after. But that's exactly what happened on SMCI. So I'm going to go through, because I only looked short on SMCI today. I actually tried 5 times and got into it once. And the one thing I learned was, something that I'm going to show you guys visually on the chart, and then a couple of things in terms of execution. Now, one is in a situation with this liquidity, use your go-to, and this is for a lot of people of real trading where you have access to multiple gateways, or if you have multiple stop orders, you're not messing around here. Use your go-to order. And when it comes to like a routing key or a stop order, you got to use the fastest one. I have like multiple ways that I can use stop orders to get into position, and one is easier that's built into the system that I kind of have as my default, and I should have switched it up to one that sits server side, and that's a direct edge one. It doesn't sit here waiting for the stock to tick through a price. So let's say I want to take a breakdown, which I tried some breakdowns, let's say 470. If I want to get short through 470, when 469.99 triggers, I can have a stop order that sits here in Toronto waiting for the tape to print that, and then fires it off to New York, which is really New Jersey. And then it triggers the order. Or I could have used a direct edge one, which I send that order, the stop for when it breaks 470, it goes to New Jersey, and it sits there. Now, you're talking about milliseconds, but when it came to SMCI today, getting those breakdown trades, that's what mattered. I used the second order instead of the first, just out of a sheer speed thing, because it's easier keystroke for me. That's laziness. That's neither here nor there. Now, the second point is, when looking for shorts to pop, the one I end up picking when it goes through 450 and then back in here. So I miss a 450 breakdown, and then I'm looking for a push back up. It wicks that bottom, like, let's go back short into 450. I grabbed it at the half and then got out at the 50 level. Now you're going to get one green candle on this 3-minute. Now I use a 3-minute chart in this particular case. Now when it's SSR and a big SSR name like this down 10% moving the way that it is, what I should have done is what I'm going to show you right here, is throw up a 1-minute chart or a lower time frame chart. Some people use a 1-second chart. To me, it was more about bringing it down more than anything else, because once you actually bring it down, it sets up a little bit better in terms of the way that I like to trade. Like you'll see, like this is the wick, this is it breaking back down through. That's the short that I want in here. On a 3-minute, it all looks like the same thing. But on the one, you can see, like, there's your wick, there's your breakdown, there's your 1-to-1. Eventually, it doesn't necessarily work out, but that's the entry point. On a lower time frame, sometimes you'll overtrade in a lower time frame. Other times, it can give you the look you're going for because of how much the stock is moving and the crazy price action. It then sets it up a little bit more cleanly when you see these other highs here. These are the same highs, 457 you would have seen on the 3-minute, but you see multiple wicks underneath it, and then there are your entry points where you can get something a little bit more clean. Because if you can't define the trade, you don't have a trade. Oftentimes, I'll see traders, they can't explain their plan of action. Like if you ask them, oh, you like the long in this stock? They'll just say, yeah, I like the long. Where are you getting in? I don't know. It breaks the even dollar level. Well, what's your exit plan? What's the out? Don't have an out. Gotta have an in, gotta have an out. And sometimes when the stock is moving more, you might have to adjust your time frame to look for those entries if you're going based on the charts. Obviously, this was the one to have short. The question becomes, if you were short this and didn't win, or if you were trying to short it and didn't get it, you can sit on your hands and you can mope about it, or you could have been not trying to do it at all when this much opportunity is out there, or you can look for ways that the next time you see this, you can hit it, and you'll do better on it. That's what it's all about in a situation like this. So I learned when it's moving SSR, sometimes I might want to put my charts to a 1-minute to find those entry points so I'm not getting the bad entry. Like again, on a 3-minute chart, it looks like, okay, there's your top, there's your breakdown. Okay, we'll give it to that close of this candle. Like that looks reasonable on a 3-minute, but when you put it up in the 1-minute, it's a terrible entry on that 1-minute chart. And it's a very subtle change that we're talking about. The other thing that you've got to consider with this is when you extend, and I kept saying VWAP, or retracement into VWAP, I'm the short VWAP. The other thing you have to remember is when something is moving like this, with this much volatility, and for a couple of days now, I mean, if you look at SMCI, I'll go back to a 3 so it's a little bit easier to see. When you have this much movement in the stock the last 3 days, sometimes it's just too weak for VWAP. When has this actually given you a VWAP trade in the last 2 days? It's not giving you VWAP 2 days ago. It wasn't giving you VWAP for most of the afternoon. So when it's going even further, why would I be sitting here waiting for a VWAP retracement? You've got to sit there and look for the levels at the stock at the places where the stock is going to trade. So for 3 days, it's not showing you VWAP in a trend. Then don't look for VWAP on a trend. Look for something else. I mean, it formed up here at 420, 425. Those were opportunities on the way back in. These little try to make it hammer candles give you possible entries. It's just about looking somewhere different. You've got to adjust your game plan to the way the stock is moving. So sometimes you can apply all your same rules to anything, and there are other times that you have to make subtle adjustments when something is going absolutely haywire, like an SMCI. So I know I learned a lot today looking at this one, trying a couple of fills and not getting in on some breakdowns. And then we're a little bit more patient and got a bit of a win. Shout out to Fabian over there. So that's your lesson of the day. I know a few people that were looking short absolutely banked on this. You want to make sure you can take advantage of a stock this big going down 25% on news and trending the entire day. Lesson of the day, have a plan of action, but be willing to adjust your execution strategy for the increased volatility within the stock.
Around these parts, we call that Neilage, baby. Shout out to Neil Roberts, hotline dropper. Every day around that noon hour, Neil, lesson of the day. Thank you very much. Eloquent, informative, and awesome as always. I see what you're saying there. Miguel Lopez says ascending wedge possibly on CAVA. Yeah, I see it over here. I want to talk about this trade real quick here if I can before I look at Kava. I don't think it's going anywhere at the moment. I was able to wet my beak there at 72s for a print, but sadly did get stopped out through the break of 50 for the other remaining part. Now I'm interested for whatever reason, because the price action seems to be, zigging and zagging at this $3.40 level. Not really sure what's afoot with 340 with respect to this particular stock, but every time it comes in and around here, it's either rejecting or bouncing off it. So I don't want to be first to the party, knowing full well that we could weasel our way into 4, but I want to give it enough time to kind of do its thing 21 right around this 340, 350 area. By the way, we talked about this $4 level on ASST as an area of interest. I want to remind you again that it is by no means luck or just chance that we're finding resistance at $4. Look at what we did over here. $4 closing print rejection, $4 wick rejection, multiple 4 wick rejections over here. So $4 has been a main level of resistance on this name going back, and I can zoom back more. I don't know how far back 4 goes, but at least I can see till over here, till about November of last year. So $4 is an interesting area of technical resistance. The only thing that was different from this time and the previous times is that we were rejecting off the 200 exponential on the daily. That is the blue line over here. That's no longer the case. We are well above the 200 exponential, which is at $2.50. So ASST still in play, off the highs, obviously, but still up 70 some odd percent on the day. And I'm interested, again, in this 340 area. It happens to also be, just by being at 340, also happens to be the 20 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. So we'll have to see if that holds up. I've got shorts for this. Neil was nice enough to get me shorts. So if we break down below that 320 RAM, which is where VWAP is, I'm going short. That's the look there. So it's this area here. I don't want to short the small cap gappers with higher floats above VWAP because I want to stay employed at this place. But the point is, if anything comes right at this VWAP area, and you just saw me move up my alert, right? That's what you're going to have to do. Unless you can peg your alert to an indicator like a moving average or a VWAP, you're going to have to keep moving it up. And so that's the look there.
Yeah, I made a decision. I'm going to preface it with that. I like ANF as a log, are words that I cannot believe I'm saying right now, but this looks rangy to me. Now, to be clear, is it a little hockey stickish? Oh, for sure. Are we at a low of day? One could argue, yes, and that person would be correct. But the reason I say but is because every time it looks like we're going to push lower, push back below that precipice, we get an influx of buyers over here.
Okay.
An ANF. You know what, Sharif? I'd take it if I had one wish, but it's been gone since that summer. Since that summer. This is going to be hopefully a light, funky trade over here. Shout out to LFO and that iconic song.
New Kids on the Block.
Had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick. And I think it's fine when a girl stops by for the summer. For the summer.
Glitch.
Yeah, let's see what happens here on the ANF. Because I think this is a clean range. I want to get out here 139s. Is that ambitious? Almost inarguably, yes. That's $1.30. But I am risking here into 50. So I'm risking 25 cents because I got involved at 75s. I'm looking to make $1.30. I call that a good risk to reward ratio. So that is the look there. Check Nike, says Nishan. Let's take a look here at Nike. It's been the day of retail names because we should look at Foot as well, Foot Locker. They did have earnings. But Nike here, oh my. Let me see if there's news on Nike because that is a bit of a volume spiky on Nike. Do we have anything? I'm not seeing any news on Nike. Yeah, there's not a lot of tweets here on Nike either. I'm not really seeing anything on NKE right now, but that was a massive flat bottom, well, not even flat bottom break, we just broke below that 83.80 level pretty violently. Let's take a look at FLA, see what's going on with FL, because they, as you know, took a pretty big L on their earnings. Oh, Foot Locker. I like this support here. Gee. That was a rounded top, but it's like, oh, you think I'm a rounded top? Nah, I'm a pop here. So I'm like,
oh.
okay, Foot Locker, cool. Foot Locker trying to put on its cleats here, run up at that 28.30 level. If we can break above that 28.90, I actually don't mind that as a long. I know, Adira, why do you keep logging earnings losers? If I see stuff I like, I will take it. I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it.
Boom.
Try to have more confidence. And again, that is part of why I went back on this in for the time being, because I need to get that confidence back. I had it. It has gone somewhere. I need to get my sea legs again so I can be like Ariel, the Little Mermaid once again, be a part of your world, trade live where the people are. How are you doing here with Nvidia?
I almost took it, and I hesitated. Now it's like 50 pennies lower than where I wanted to get in, so that's the look there. That's the Nvidia trade. So look, we're bouncing off multiple different moving averages here on some of these Mag 7 names. We popped up nicely through 19.4. I think we're going to break down again. Nvidia rejecting VWAP, Apple and Tesla rejecting the 20, Amazon rejecting the 10. Meta worked its way back up above VWAP, but rejecting it again. So the weakness is coming in on this market. What I want to see here is if the future breaches and drops below 19.4, or is this just a quick pullback after clearing 19.4, coming back and testing and then moving up again? Oh, decisions. The only one that didn't really have a big move down on that little pop was Softy. I mean, it just continued to put higher lows while everything else in Mag 7 kind of put another quick lower low there. So interesting look. Nvidia's breaking 125, man. And here comes the future at 19.4 again. I missed this trade. That's frustrating. Can we still get involved? Are we moving down here? What's the situation? Is 19.4 going to go again? Are we going to break down and maybe test 19.3? That's the only question I have at this level. And we're still above 19.4 as I look. And I'm still looking at 19.4, and we're defending it. But I mean, oh, wow, Nvidia's like 70 cents lower. Oh, that's so much trouble. What's going on over there? Why did you guys put the green screen? What's up over there? Show me, Ram. Don't worry about it. I can just get up and look, Fabian. Like, it's not that. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. I see. He's getting in the. Oh, that's where it was. I couldn't see that. All right, so Trenda is relocated there, Adara.
Moved after Obi kidnapped her yesterday.
These were Trenda is.
What is happening?
I'm going to kill Trenda.
What? Can you stop threatening her?
Oh, there's a new note, Adira.
She's a new note.
A new note has been passed to me here. Can they see it? Watch your back, especially your car. Wow, Ram. I guess I'm not driving Friday then. So that's the look there, because Ram threatened to key my car last week.
I'm the one who told you that, because you didn't hear it. I was like, did you hear what she said?
Oh, I heard.
And you were like, no. And I was like, she threatened to key her car.
I heard it, Dara. Bottoming tail candle through that 19.4 break. We dipped down to 19 mid 380s and popped up right above 19.4. Bamboozlement is real in these markets. Okay, so I'm packing my patience here, because there's obviously, gimmicks at play right now. We kind of curl down through 19.4. We pop back right back up. I want to see whether we resolve on a higher low here on the future, or whether we curl right back down again. Nvidia's right back above 125. So much bamboozlement. Jay Lee, I told you before you stepped out of Nvidia that it would dump back to 124s. But yeah, tight stops are PETA. Wish you shorted 125.60. Dude, I was literally looking at that level at the volume weighted average price. I was like, wait for it to reject. I missed it. It's my fault. Pretty Panda, ASST, what do you think here? Closing in on VWAP. Great call out. Thank you for that. So let's see exactly what we're looking at the 5-minute chart. Let's bring it in. So it didn't quite make it down into VWAP. Yeah, double bottom here. Breaching the 20 exponential on the 5, trying to hold up at that 3 1/3, but we're still putting in higher lows. Pretty Panda, that's a look. Look at this. Lower highs. Excuse me. Lower highs, lower lows. Unless we really change the trend and start curling back up, not interested. I'm interested in a bounce off VWAP or a breakdown below VWAP, and I'll get short. So we'll keep an eye. Thank you for reminding me about this one. I've put my alerts, but sometimes I forget. Dan, the dang man Emmons. NQ 19150 on my radar. That's my level from August 15th. NQ, he just wrote that again. From the employment report from August 15th. I think that was the NFPs that tanked the market, that missed by like 100,000 or something like that. Thank you, Dan. So Dan is looking at 19,150. It behooves us to look at that level. Let's load up this bad boy over here and go to let's go to the half an hour here. I think we'll be able to see that pretty well. There it is, 19,150. There's Black Monday. There's the August 15th dump right on the bottom left of your screen right there. So shout out to Dan. I see what you're saying. Look at this, round to top, stair stepping down, drop, pop, drop, and we're dropping again. So it looks like it's a rounded top coming in possibly for that area defend. Shout out to you, Dan. Thank you for pointing that out, Adair.
Yeah, we had a super chat as well, and it was from Stevenson Etienne, 199 super chat. Nvidia, May 21st, 2024 versus today's price action. Nvidia, May 21st. That was the day that we had earnings before we split. So let's see. I'm going to use the Trading View daily chart, and I only see that because I know ours is not split adjusted. So give me a second here to pull that up. I remember that was the day before my house fire. That's how I remember that. Yeah, that was fun. I was like, hello, guys, when I came in because I was up all day. But all
night, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can pull this up. Also, speaking of Nvidia, I'm trying to get Phil this along. I'll talk about my trades on that after I address the super chat. But we're also going to be after the moo in a second here. So let's see if I can find May 21st. Where are you at? Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah. So May 21st looks like we didn't do. How much did we do on May 21st? It was, that was the day before earnings. So I think you want 22nd because that was the night we reported the night of the 22nd. We actually moved down a bit here, a decent volume before we had that gap up when we cracked 1,000 again on a split adjusted basis. So that's an interesting look there for NVDA. It looks like we spent a lot of that week into earnings kind of consolidating. So if you want to compare that week to the week we've had, this is actually interesting. We're seeing kind of a similar pattern of consolidation here from what we saw to the previous earnings. That is a very interesting look there, Stevenson Etienne. In terms of price action, it'd be kind of hard to compare it like apples to apples, but we don't have the, like I said, I always usually compare price action based on what I see in the book, and unfortunately we're not going back there. In the meantime, I got filled. Yes. So yeah, it looks like we got filled and we lost in that trade all in one fell swoop. To be fair, this was a very small position. Like, my response to my trading as of late is, ugh. But that's what growth is for. And what also we have to talk about here is Moomoo, because they are lovely sponsors and we want to take the time to thank them. So Moomoo here, if you're looking to maximize your idle cash, you can earn 8.1% on idle funds for up to 3 months. Plus, US users can take advantage of up to 15 free stocks and $300 in cash rewards. Hey Canada, you're not left out. Enjoy 6% on cash balances along with up to a $2,000 commission rebate. Sign up with Moomoo to trade on extended trading hours. You can trade 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. well beyond regular market hours. And whether you want to react to pre-market news, catch after hours earnings, Nvidia, or simply manage your portfolio with more flexibility, Moomoo, they got you covered. You can maximize your trading potential, Sharif. Did you know that? And you can stay ahead of the curve with extended hours today. For more details and full terms and conditions, scan the QR code or click the link in the description.
If I'm not maximizing my trading potential at Dara, I don't even want to have a conversation. Like, I don't even want to hear anything.
I respect that.
SMCI, your boy SMCI, drop below 400. The bleeding continues on SMCI, 27.5% negative now. It's been a tough couple of days for this name. I mean, it had a really good January to March. It moved up from $300 to like $1,300 or whatever the price was. You can go back and look at the chart. It got added to the S&P 500. Everything was on the up and up. And then all of a sudden sold off, and then the Hindenburg hit piece hits today. They don't file their June, whatever, I think it's their quarterly report for June in time, need an extension to do that. And look at this price action that we have today. SMCI, $5 below 500 now, 400 Katina man, 35.18 LOD on SMCI. Wow. And people were asking me in the chat, like, why are you not short SMCI? Good question. All right, keeping an eye, obviously, on SMCI. While Adair was dropping said hot lines, I was able to take a nice short on the monster Nvidia, profitable on this one. We were able to take like 40 pennies super quick on this. I was really happy with this trade. It's rounded top, but the thing is, it's not making any newer lows. So the rounded top is fantastic, but it is finding with bottoming tail candles, support at 124 2/3, essentially maybe, yeah, above that $0.50, but it's still putting in lower highs. This fly has a death wish, doesn't it? I'm going to leave you out here for all the other ones to see. Can we get a picture of this fly here? All right. Well,
Are you serial killing flies, Sharif?
Why not, Adara?
Chung chung.
Chum, chum. All right, pop back up here on Nvidia, Adara, into 125 1/3. So a lot of zig, a lot of zag. You know, it looked like it did find a bit of a footing there at 124 2/3. I'm going to be looking to see if it can really retake or take at all, actually, the volume weighted average price, which currently on my chart, 125 3/4. We'll have to wait and see if it can breach that level as well as 126. Man, this fly is nuts, so annoying. Because there is some resistance there at that $126.50 level as well. A lot of bamboozlement today, man. So yeah, that's the look there. Let's see what else is going on. What are you guys looking there at the chat? Saad Mahmoud, LOL, tough couple of days. Lost nearly 50% in 3 days. Let's not laugh, Saad, because there could be some people long in this in the long term, and we don't want to, you know, obviously. You know what I'm saying. Again, buy SMCI now, says Tom H. Guys, make sure that you're joining our afternoon rundown. The way to do that is to buy vote for your favorite tickers. There's the code there on the screen. Just choose that. It's !join, space, $, and your favorite ticker. Tom H is talking about SMCI, and why would he not? So Saad Mahmoud, go vote for it, guys. Yeah, there it is as well. BTC by Siavash Akrami. He wants to know about Bitcoin. We saw Bitcoin take a bit of a nosedive last night. No two ways about that. Everybody's talking about SMCI, broke 400, broke 400. All right, throw it in the chat. Day trader cut, talking about Berk B is going to hit, I'm not sure exactly what these acronyms mean. Tell me what that means. If you want to know about the futures, the Katina man had like, I don't know, 100-point handle move today on the TQQs. Throw in the TQQs in the chat. If you're not voting, you're not getting in on the afternoon rundown. It's really that simple. Thank you for everybody for voting there. My phone says likely fraud. Somebody's calling me here, which is likely fraud. Let's flip back.
How dare they?
I know, right? Let's flip back here and look at NVDA as it works back into that 125.5 Adara. That VWAP area at 125.75. I'm all eyes there.
I have a thesis on Nvidia, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be wrong, but I have confidence in my idea, so I'm going to try it. I already did. I'm short Nvidia 125.30. Now, you may see this and be like, "Aru." I initially tried to long Nvidia 125.30 because I liked how he pushed above that level. That long did not work out. Before that, I tried the short of Nvidia 125. That was also an L. That could have worked out had I scalped it, but I didn't scalp it. Now, what I saw here was an inability to crack above 130, 120. Okay, never mind. We're already out. I was going to give this to 125.50s. Clearly, Nvidia wanted that smoke at 125.50s. Just to recap what the plan was, though, because that was what I was trying to do before Nvidia was like, "Hey, Adara, I don't care about your plan. I'm going to make another level." I liked all this rejection here of 125.50s. So I was going to go short 125.30. I was going to take it into 124.80s. I was going to get, like, because I think the low here is 77, so I was going to get to 80. So it was taking 50 cents, risking 20 cents. I did take an L on that trade. But you know what we're trying to take more of and less of? So that's 21 Savage, trying to take less L's and make more M's. Have more M's been made lately? That would be an emphatic no. But honestly, you got to try. You got to put in the work. You got to put in all of that effort, all the attempts, all the reps, or you're not going to grow. That being said, I like Sharif's Nvidia VWAP thesis. In VWAP. AVWAP, but I vote VWAP. So if Nvidia can hold above that 125.50 here, I will go long 125.50. I will risk into 125.30 because that is a level, in my opinion, based on what I've seen in the book and the chart. Now, in terms of profit, what say you, Nvidia? I would like to be taking some out here at 126.15s. I want to see us crack above VWAP and hold that area. So that would be, you know, let's see what we hold here because I keep yapping and I'm like, I want to start this position. We're gonna open this position here on Nvidia. We are risking 20 cents. We're trying to make minimum 65. So that is more than a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Can I live with that? Yes, I can. Will Nvidia give me my 51s? That is a lot more in doubt. Now we're about to go 52s. Okay, come on, Nvidia. I don't want to chase you. Let's not go chasing waterfalls, Sharif.
Are you in a position? TLC.
Well, I'm almost in a position
here.
Okay,
almost.
On this NVDA. What are you doing over here, Sharif?
Just nothing. I'm writing to who is it, D-Loaf here about SMCI.
I can keep talking if you need.
Yeah, it's okay. He's just asking me. He's like, got insights on SMCI and their business model, Professor. Hardware, server space, checking the volume profile, 325 to 230, massive volume, theoretical support. I started a position about 15% of his normal position. I was just basically saying I haven't had an opportunity to read the Hindenburg hit piece, but once I do, let me give you my opinion on that. Adara did, and she basically, I don't want to obviously misquote you, but they hired people that were part of an earlier problem. What was it, 2016?
Rehired. So it was 2018 and 2020. There were two issues. They rehired people from that scandal like months after.
And that was an accounting issue as well back then.
I believe so. There was some SEC, SEC, and then also NASDAQ compliance related issues.
Right. So I mean, unless I've had an opportunity to read it, hard for me to say. Obviously, the S&P does their due diligence, but nobody's going to get it perfect. Look. Right now, I'm keeping an eye on BOF. I see you guys yelling about this one. This is a big mover here. Number one gap scanner now on my watch list. Look, this one moved in the pre-market, but it sort of fizzled out, and then it really caught its footing for whatever reason here, right at 10 to 12. And there was a huge move up from $1.08 into $1.50. We haven't given up the ghost, though. In fact, we came back and tested support. Look at that move up into $1.50. We come back down in that $1.30, and we hold that general area crest. So we trough out at the previous area high. You love that. We're holding the 10 exponential. Let me give you the deets on Branch Out Food. $9.6 million market cap, 145 million shares traded on the day, and its company or the float is 4.3 million shares. Let's find out if there's a short float here on BOF. 0.7% of those 4 million shares are borrowed for short, so not a whole lot to talk about there. But I'd like to see if this one, number one, can get above that 150. Number two, can it hold this 130 area here and continue to respect the 10 exponential on the 5? BOF looking awfully good here if you're into that small cap gapper type trade. VWAP hanging out at $1.15. ASST is not doing anything, but it may be setting up here for an inverse head and shoulders. We have all the right recipe. We have that move up, big move up, left shoulder, drop, head. Now we're forming the right shoulder. Could the break of the neckline be the break of VWAP? I don't want to, start, engaging in confirmation bias. I'm trying to make a prediction, and we'll act on it if it ends up manifesting. But we are, definitely not putting in any highs. Now we're moving sideways. The volume's dropping off significantly. We're not even hitting 500,000 shares per candle, and we were hitting 3.5 million on our peak over here not that long ago, about an hour ago. So this looks like it could be setting up. Neil was nice enough to get me shorts on this bad boy. And if we break down, I will be all over ASST as a short. Very, very strong. Well, not very strong, but very interesting setup right now. BOF coming right back into that $1.33. That's where that 10 exponential is hanging out. That's where we found some support. Let's load up BOF. Nvidia is breaking above 125.50, by the way. All right, let's leave ASST because we need it. We'll take off Neon. We'll put BOF. Big Spile just sent me something. I'm going to look at that in a second. Big Spile, shout out to you. Haven't seen you in the chat yet today, but I know that you're obviously doing a couple of gigs there. He trades and he works, baby. The man is a man of multiple talents. All right, $1.33. We're finding support right now on BOF. Look how sparsely traded this is. I should mention to you that this one did halt, by the way, on that big move up at 11.54. It was a 5-minute halt. And we are generally, I don't want to say we are, but we're generally defending that area that we halted. Sometimes the halt areas are areas of support and resistance. Now, it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes it does. The halt area was $1.32. Where are we trading right now? $1.32. So let's see if this $1.30, 1/3, wants to hold up on BOF, up 96% a day.
Okay, Nvidia, let's go. Above VWAP, Nvidia. I believe in you, Nvidia. To be clear, I flipped the style up on Nvidia multiple times. I went short, then I went long. Then I think I actually went short again. Then I went long here because basically, I want to clarify the reason I flipped up so much because I knew what levels I liked. I was just not playing them appropriately. And I took small sizes with all those trades. I honestly, they were all pretty responsible. I was trying to get kind of a sense of the movement. But then I was realizing, and I said this before, if 125.50 can hold, I know I can risk it into 125.30 because that was a huge switchy, flippity, floppity level. So if we can hold 125.30, we're set. While I'm in the long at 125.50, we wick into 125.30, okay? We wick. I'm like, Hedera, oh no, another L, ooh. But then we beautifully push back up, and I said, okay, Hedera, you know what that tells me? Yeah, that tells me that buyers want to keep up that 125.30. So I said, okay, you know what, Hedera? Stay in, deep breath, stay in this trade. I would like to see us hold the 80s. That would certainly be optimal to me because that is view up, but that's not the only reason. The way we broke above 80s was kind of violent, so I'm like, this is a level that's of interest. If we can't hold that, things might get a skosh dicey for your girl. So let's see how things go here. Still about 20 pennies in the money on this this sim trade. It is a little bit larger than some of my other positions here, but that's because I believe in it. I watched it enough times. I was chopped up in it enough times, if I'm being really real, that I knew what I was looking for on these levels. To be clear, the beak winner here is set for 1/3 of my position at 126.10s. I chose that level because look at this chippity choppity. Look at that level we wicked into. To me, this level was screaming, Hedera, take some profit out here. So if we're able to get to 126.10s, to be clear, we have to break 126 first. If we get to 126.10s, I will be like, Nvidia, thank you. This was a 3-to-1 risk to reward. I'm very comfy with that ratio, risking 20 pennies, trying to make min 60. So that's the type of thing we can live with over here on Trader TV. Shout out to Stacks saying JD, it's an option. Calls and puts. Calls usually long and puts short. Let's take a look here at JD, which we know has had catalyst after catalyst. They had earnings. Then they had Walmart selling off a whole chunk of shares. Then they were like, oh, we got a $5 bill buyback program. Today, not a lot in JD, though I do like the higher, I take it back. We actually get a pushback. Look at these flat bottoms here, closing bases, wick bases here, that 25.85 we do not want to break. We've had higher lows. To be clear, this is not really the type of name that I'm comfy trading because I do like my larger, spreadier names that give me a little bit more of excitement. There's not a lot of book movement here on JD, and that's usually what I'm more comfortable reading, so I don't think it'd be my type of trade. That being said, 26.03s here. Look at that base we had earlier, okay? We have the chip top. Then I don't even got on a bear flag. We didn't really have enough time to consolidate. We just sold off hard, okay? Then we had that little roundy bottom. Look where we're wicking into. That's right, 26.03s. If we can break 26.03s, I think that's a great look for JUD. So let's see if JD can push even higher. That'd be the bomb.com or the bomb.jd.com. I don't know. Pretend that worked. Also,
people
guys,
used to say that all the time, by the way.
That was a saying. We have an auction in 24 minutes, or 23 minutes as well now. That is going to be, if I remember correctly, the 5-year.
Yeah.
We have the 5-year today. That's going to be coming up. We will give you guys notice when that occurs. Also, Nvidia reporting at 420. So let's see if it's as green as its time implies.
Can we get the wheat thing?
They report at 420 basically every time, I've noticed. Stacks, I didn't realize that was a response in the chat. I did not know that, but I was still looking at the ticker. Also, guys, if there's any tickers you're looking at, get in the chat. We want you to be looking at different ticker. I mean, you can look at whatever you want. But to be clear, I did not judge. But I said that weirdly.
Do whatever you want.
But yeah, right, do whatever you want to do. But also, if you want to look at non-make 7 names, put those non-make 7 names in the vote. Maybe you want to go exclamation point, join space, $, crowd. If you want to go exclamation point, join space, $, affirm. Maybe BOF. Any of those tickers in there that are moving that you want to look at, let us know. BOF looks rangy.
It is. It's super rangy. It came back down to a third. I shouldn't have taken it out here, but the ask got super stacked. It did. It got super stacked, so I was worried about a flush, and the flush could continue to come because the size at 130 is getting eaten up, and it is. Here's the size at 129 now. Let's see if it gets equally as eaten up as quickly. Nope, back into 130 low. I look, you know, when I take these small cap gappers, sometimes I take them rangy, but like what I'm looking for here is a breakout trade. So it's above VWAP, up, so it's got all the right recipes, but doesn't always have to manifest this way. So we'll keep tabs on this one. BOF, I tried to take that low end of the range at 134, broke down below 130, so that's the end of the trade there. Jay Lee, looks like Nvidia rejecting anything approaching 125.90, still worth a short. Benny, yeah, I have been playing them also. If he's talking to somebody else there.
It's holding support, though, on the book at 125.70s, I will say that.
Okay, so Adara's been book watching.
125.70s.
Interesting, that's a fantastic look there. Yeah, as you can see, the wicks holding at that 70 penny area. Looks like it may, who knows? Who knows?
If it breaks 70s, I'm getting out because that 70 support is nuts, is all I'll say.
Fair?
Yeah.
It did breach VWAP on a couple of occasions here, at least from what I can see on my 5-minute chart. Here's a look on an NVDA. Look, it's a nice V-shaped retracement, but let's call a spade, guys. We rejected VWAP up here, right between that 10 o'clock to that 10:35 huge flush. We're right back there, and we have a higher low. So nothing's been gained, right? We're rejecting off that same indicator, and that indicator happens to be the volume-weighted average price. And here we go. Looks like we're breaking down here into the 60s. Look, 2 topping tails through the volume-weighted average price. And look at this 126 level. We yapped about this 126 level, man. I just got to put out orders and shut up about it. This obvious area crest at 950. Look, we come into there and we reject. So it happens to be a little bit with VWAP. We wick up into that key area of technical resistance, and then we drop down below VWAP again. Who knows? Maybe we get bought back up. If we take 126, there's really nothing holding us from moving up aggressively here. 126 is the area trough. VWAP's been holding us down. We have one more level here above VWAP at that 126 area trough from 950. And then if we break above that level, well, then we're looking at 127.50, this area top over here. This is the crest. This is the area that we rejected VWAP initially that I was talking about from 10 to 10:30. 127.50. We break through that. Then we're looking at going green on the day, 128.33. Don't know if we do all that given the amount of red that we got on. Well, we're only down 1.16 on the NQ, 0.67 on the ES, 0.56 on the Dow, and 0.7 on the RUS. So it's not as bad as it may seem, but quite frankly, everything is a negative. So Apple's kind of doing a very similar look here to what Nvidia is doing, but it's not doing it at VWAP. It's doing that little dance at the 20 exponential moving average. It's basically this 227 and a quarter, 227 and a third, working its way up there, topping tail candles. However, what's operative here is the higher lows. Each successive candle higher than its predecessor into an area of technical resistance at this 227.50, which we haven't got to yet. This could be a big breakout here. We'll see. I don't want to start calling the recovery on the market, but we'll have to see what we get there. Let's flip back to some of these small cap gappers. Yeah, should have stayed in that BOF. That was a mistake. It's right back up into that 127.60. But look at Chewy. Chewy is at the high of the day. Good move up today for Chewy. Heavily shorted, by the way. It's up 16.5%. I just want to remind you of the short float. It's 11.92%. So it's a good, decent short float off which we can work. And you can tell today, market really liking this one, taking 30 here on a closing basis, at least for now, and also printing a new high of day. Mankind is back at the volume-weighted average price at $6. This is interesting. What are you looking at, Adair?
Yeah, I said if Nvidia gives up 70s, I'm getting out. So I did get out, but I forgot on the sim that for whatever reason, it always, no matter how many shares I have, it will always only get me out of a position for X number of shares automatically unless I change it. I forgot to change it. I was like, oh, bummed I got out, because basically the second we get out at 70s, the thing comes right back. Then I was like, oh my gosh, Adair, you still have a third of the position in. So usually you get out or on planned sale, but I did want to stay. My plan was to get back in if we reclaimed 125.70s, which we did the second I got out. So I was like, you know what, Adair, stay in this. If we get back to 80s, I'll add, because that would be a higher low for me. Again, still going to be looking for what we do here at 70s. If we break below 70s, you know how much smoke I want, Sharif?
A lot.
Well, none, but I want the smoke above. That's what I want, Sharif. This is a really small position, as I said, due to fun little things. Someone in the chat earlier, I want to shout you out, I forget who it was, said, I don't call it fat fingering, I call it spontaneous investment. Oh. So I didn't even spontaneously divest from Nvidia. I spontaneously accidentally kept some in. Like I said, my biggest level here for NVDA, 126 break, sure, that's cool. I like that. But I want to see what we do at 126.50s or 126.15s. That would be all the smoke for me. I do want to shout out Jay Lee, you're right. We're struggling with 125.90, but now we flip from support to resistance. That, to me, is a spicy meatball. I don't know why that was the phrase I chose to use, but I did. And I was confident and I went with it. Bang. So that's what matters. We're going to do some more lessons over here in these parts. Oh, yeah.
Soon. Totally forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me.
But yeah, no, I just realized, because I'm I love this 125.90. I don't think I'm going to get my 80 fill, and I don't want to add at 90s all willy-nilly because that'd be a little bit chasey. But man, 90s, if we get back above that 126.15s, that area I'm looking for, and we fall back, I'm using 90s as support. That is for darn sure. Support to resistance flips, I like. PLTR printing nice, says Vikyan Novak.
Really?
So let's take a look here at Filter, Palantir. Palantir was a frequent resident of my side chart until I realized, hey, Adara, this is not the type of name you normally trade. Oh! Wow, Palantir.
Get it, Adara.
Shout out to you, Vikyon Novak. I'm guessing you're long here. Wow. That long just below 30s, that's beautiful. Look at that higher low. We flushed down here with volume, and we flushed right back up. Now, to be clear, this is a gross bearish candle. That's a gross move down here at 11:10, right as the midday began. I guess Palantir didn't like the midday. No, I'm joking.
No.
But, bad joke. But yeah, it flushes down right at 11:10. Then we continue to push higher.
I'm a little
We
offended.
do make some higher lows, but we make a lower low, to be clear. But now we're pushing back into VWAP, actually kind of mirroring Nvidia's price action, oddly enough. Now, I would watch this 30-20s area we're trying to wick into now, because last time we got here, we had a pretty big bearish wick here, topping tail candle into previous support at 30-31s, and then Palantir did a cool little flush. So I will absolutely, if you're trading Palantir, I'd watch what we do at 30-30s and this 30-20s area we're in right now. That is an interesting 10-cent zone for me personally. Nvidia, pollution here a little bit. I did get my fill at, oh my gosh, I got my fill at 80s, and then he sells me off. So we're gonna have to get out here. To say this trade was managed questionably is an accurate statement. And we're going to try to grow and learn every day. Like I said, I had some issues with stops. I think too well, I'm in the 70s to figure out my whole situation with my stops and everything, because I'm like, I know has been an issue. I'm going to take some time to get to know my little settings thing. Also, Nvidia, if you reject 125.70, I'll short you.
Oh, short you. You threaten that stock
there. I will go short. I'll risk you into 125.90s. I have no qualms. I'm qualmless.
I know you are.
Hear me? I'm qualmless. Let's go. I've only traded 3 triggers today. Nvidia, ANF, which I traded really briefly, and I guess I should mention that. Basically, we broke below my level. I got out. Now it's curling back up. I liked it as a range long. And I traded Nvidia, SMCI, and ANF. Speaking of SMCI, that one recovering like it ain't no thing. I want to see what we do at 407, because 407 is an area I like. If we reject that, somebody might go short again.
Oh,
we'll have to wait and see. But now we're going to talk about stochastic oscillators.
Yes, absolutely. All right, we are talking about the stochastic oscillator today. We're talking about momentum oscillators all week. Let me just load up my charts on the side, MKND. There we go. We'll leave that one because I'm in it at the moment. All right. So we talked about the money flow index yesterday. The day before that, we talked about the rate of change momentum oscillator. What's common with them is they're all momentum oscillators. So we're going to talk about how this one is a little bit different from the money flow index that we talked about yesterday. Let's start by talking a little bit about the basics of it. So the stochastic oscillator, as I mentioned, is a momentum oscillator. It measures specifically, though, the closing price of a security relative to its high-low range over a specified period. And I'll show you what the calculation entails in a second. It's typically often used to identify these overbought and oversold conditions, much like we use the relative strength index for the RSI. So this is kind of how it looks like on the chart. You know, we typically have price action above and then the indicator a little bit below. You'll notice that the area below 80 and above 20 is shaded. This is kind of the neutral zone for my football fans out there. And then above 80, we've got that overbought area, and below 20, we have that oversold area, much like that 70 and that 30 print on the RSI. In this case, though, we're using 80-20, not much of a difference. The calculation, we're not going to spend too much time on this, but it behooves us to know a little bit about it. To know the stochastic oscillator consists of 2 lines. One of them is called the percentage K line. And the way that this is calculated is by taking the close minus the low, right? And then you're dividing that by the high minus low and then multiplying that by 100. Super simple. You don't need to know how it was derived, just need to know that this is how it is used. And then the percentage D line is actually a derivative of the percentage K line in the sense that it becomes a 3-period simple moving average of the percentage K line. Where have we seen that before? MACD, the signal line, is the 14-day moving average of the MACD line. So this is a consistent thing that we see in technical analysis, where one line is a derivative of the first line. So just keep that in mind. The values of it are as such. The close price, when I say close, I'm talking about the closing price at the end of day. When I'm talking about high, I'm talking about the highest point that day or that period, right? Could be 3-4 day period, whatever it is, the high of that period is. And then the low is the lowest price of that period. If it happens to be a day, it's a day. If it happens to be 3 days, you're taking the lowest price of that 3-day period. So understanding the lines, let's talk about the lines because they kind of make up the whole thing here. The percentage K line represents the current closing price relative to the recent high-low range. So a value of 100 indicates that the closing price is at the highest point of the range, and a value of 0 tells you that the closing price is at the lowest end of the range. That doesn't typically happen, though. We're usually somewhere in between that level, okay? The percentage D line, as I mentioned, is a smoothed version of the percentage K line, calculated using a three-period moving average of the percentage K line. The smoothing here helps, obviously, with reduction of noise and well as making the signal a little bit more readable. And here is how it looks IRL. You'll see that the percentage K line values there. The percentage D line has a value of 3. In this particular infographic, the K line is represented as a green, and the D line is represented as the red line there. So how do we use these percentage K and percentage D lines? Like, what's the move here? So the percentage K line can be used to identify these overbought and oversold conditions. So specifically, when the percentage K line moves above 80%, it can indicate that the market is overbought and a reversal may be imminent. When the percentage K line is below 20% or 20, it indicates that the market is oversold and a potential reversal to the upside this time may be imminent. The D line, used a little bit differently. The D line can be used to confirm the signals indicated by the K line, okay? For example, this is a good example. If the K line is overbought, so say the percentage K line above 80 already, but the percentage D line not quite at that 80, but rising. You know it's on the way up, but hasn't gotten to 80 yet. So the percentage D line not oversold quite yet. What does that mean to you? It means that there may be more upside moves. Sure, the percentage K line is already oversold, but that doesn't mean if we're above 70 on the RSI that it's time to sell. You shouldn't do that. Okay? You need to look for confirmation. One way in this particular instance to get confirmation is to look at where the percentage D line is once the percentage K line is in overbought or oversold territory. So you need to really look out for that, okay? And then using the percentage K and the percentage D line together, when used together, the percentage D and percentage K line can provide more robust signals. We talk here about the bullish and bearish crossovers. We've talked about this in the past using MACD. When, for example, the percentage K line crosses above from south to north, above the D line, it could signal a potential bullish crossover, and then conversely, when the percentage D line crosses below from north to south of the percentage D line, we call that a bearish crossover, and we could be looking to take some profits in and around there. And here's kind of how it's depicted on the actual graph. You have your oversold areas over here below 20, your overbought areas here above 80, and then basically we have the crossovers depicted over here where you have the percentage K line crossing above and then below the percentage D line. So this is kind of how it's going to be depicted IRL. And in this particular case, you have the bullish crossovers as well. You get the bullish crossover right there. The price pumps up. You get a bearish crossover right there. You get a momentary pullback. But look, you get the bullish cross again. So look for confirmatory indicators. Don't rely exclusively on the stochastic indicator. So how do we use this for trading? So I'll submit to you 3 different methods that we can use stochastics for trading. The first one, I already alluded to this, identifying overbought and oversold conditions. I'm not going to repeat that kind of thing. But it can also be used to confirm trends. And so this bamboozles people sometimes. They're like, well, why do I want to know if the trend is moving up? I can look at the price to confirm that. Sure, you also want to see if you're getting into those overbought and oversold areas. So just because stochastics is confirming the trend that you see in the price action doesn't mean it's useless. Because remember, what happened? Okay, I thought something happened there. Just because it's moving up and the stochastics are moving up, you also want to make sure that the trend is still powerful and you're not getting into that overbought area or oversold. And last but not least, we can use stochastics like we do with RSI and with MACD and with some others for price action indicator divergence. So when the price is making higher lows, but the stochastics makes lower lows, then you know that we have a bearish possible divergence. When the stochastics is making higher lows, but the price is making lower lows, then we know that we have bullish divergence. So multiple ways we can use these momentum oscillators to help us gauge market sentiment. And let's talk a little bit about the similarities or lack thereof between the stochastic oscillator and the money flow index that we studied about yesterday. So both of them are momentum oscillators. They both are used to identify overbought and oversold conditions. However, there are some key differences. They focus on different things, especially as it relates to their calculation. The stochastic oscillator focuses on price momentum, while the money flow index prioritizes, both price and volume. With more emphasis on volume, stochastics doesn't even look at volume. So it may behoove you to use them together if you can. The calculation as well also differs here. The calculation for stochastics is based on the closing price relative to the high-low range over a specified period, while the money flow index is really measuring that positive or negative money flow that's coming into an instrument. So a little bit of a different take, a little bit of a different calculation. And their sensitivity also happens to be a bit different. The stochastic oscillator, more sensitive to price changes. The money flow index, more sensitive to volume. So again, these could be used together. A lot of people don't like to use two momentum oscillators because they feel it's kind of repetitive and redundant. No, not these two. They focus on different things. One is more fixated on price, the other one fixated on volume, and we know from experience that both are super important. So I really wanted to make that point together, and that's why we're going to cover some of the comparisons between what we learned prior and what we learned today, Adair.
Yeah, because we love confluence on this desk. And also just on this floor and on this show, and as a trader, you want confluence. Also, 5 minute till bond auction. What auction, you may ask? It is the 5-year note. We are looking for, or not we're looking for, but the previous print here was 4.121%. That was the previous. Let's see what we get here on the bond auction. Also, I have still been kind of hanging out here with SMCI, and I want to talk about why. Like I said, this is a ticker that I feel like I have decent reads on these, but these are always going to be a little bit hard because you have to get your right timing right. You have to strike correctly. So what I've been really trying to do is practice reading the book and just, while I'm in this and practicing or getting into these trades, how you manage these trades. I tried this initial short here. And to be clear, this should not have done this. And I think the reason I say that is because 407, I watched this have that bullish breakout here into 407. Like I said, to me, what's always going to look pretty bullish on the book or the tape is if I see, like, we get the spread really tight, where we have, like, for bullish, it's going to be, you want the ask set and you're creeping up on the bid. We had that at 407s, but we couldn't hold it at 407s, which is why, okay, we broke up 414, so I'm getting out of this trade. That's why I got out of that short. But then I basically wanted to get back in here on the short because that 414 was another level I really liked. So I got in at I said if we broke above 414, get out. But this time here, we couldn't even get to 413. We had a couple fake breakouts here of 413 on the book where we'd climb up here on the bid, then the ask would drop, then we would see them both drop. So I like this as a potential breakout. Now, obviously didn't work out. I don't want to be trading this ad infinitum. There's just not a lot of stocks I have levels on today. This one happens to be one of them. Like I said, very disappointed with the trading as of late. Just feel, my brain isn't on, but that's why, I love this community. I love being able to be here every single day because you learn a little bit from the chat. You learn a little bit from every single trade. But Sturm, I actually have had some successful trades today. Took like $4 in some of these SMCI trades earlier. Took $4 on one of them, 2.5 on one of the other ones. And honestly, like the lack of consistent successful trades is why I went back in the sim in the first place. So I have no shame with that. I also had this Nvidia trade earlier here with this long Nvidia. We got out here 124.35s, got involved. I think the average here was 72. So there have been some trades. Live trading with Trader TV saying, want to see something funny? Yes, Ramin, we do. I'm guessing that's Ramin. I want to see what's happening here. That is funny. I would love to see that. What else are we looking at? BOF. Join BOF, says Nader. Yeah, I know Streif was in that one, so my read on BOF is not going to be the same quality as his, I am sure. But if you want to look at BOF or any other tickers, get in that chat. ! Join. Space $. Whatever ticker you fancy. We want to take a look at this. Also, oh my gosh, I love this. Ramin posting this story. Check out our YouTube. Look at this. We've got Super Micro being crowded over here by Jensen. Look at Jensen's face. He's like,
get it, Jensen.
Get it, Jensen. Also, did you know that they actually formed Nvidia at a Denny's, apparently? They were at a Denny's, and they were like, oh, let's do SMC, or not SMCI, Nvidia. So interesting, look. Every good thing starts at Denny, says Ramin. Look at this bull flag on. Oh, sorry. Is that what you're?
Yeah.
I'll let you analyze BOF then, because some people are asking about BOF. If we get the auction
It's
there,
better that you analyze it, because clearly I don't know how to trade it.
I didn't mean it like that.
Well,
I just meant we have a bull flag here with these higher lows on the 5-minute curling up, and we popped higher here into that 155. I also like this hold of the 105 level on BOF. $1 level, not actually super showing up in the chart, because sometimes with these dollar breaks, you'll see it on the chart. For me, bless you, the $5 level is a lot more interesting. Then we have higher lows, then we push higher here. But yeah, I mean, to address the comment there from Best Term in the chat, like I said, the trading has not been successful as I want to, but that's why I'm here every day, to work at it, to grow. And I am not ashamed. I am not afraid.
Good.
Shout out to Eminem. And that's why I like being here.
Not afraid
To take a stand.
Do you like his new
trader.
album, or what's the situation over there?
He had a collab with JID, who's one of my favorite rappers right now. And so I loved, like, literally, I always joke the best thing J. Cole did for rap was signing JID. Like, I love, yeah, I know, some people are gonna get upset at me for that. I stand by it, so I'm cool with that. But JID was on that album, which is good. Eminem sounds like fire. If you like double, triple entendres, if you like puns, you know what you're getting with Slim. That is for sure. Also, shout out to Roaring on 20s in the chat, who called me Slim Trady once. I enjoyed that nickname. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. But yeah, if you're looking for Dara Panera ranges, we actually have one kind of on Meta. So Meta's doing some things here. I like that 515 hold on the Meta one. Meta's one I've been trading a little bit more lately, and I like how it moves. I like that 515 level. I like it 515 to 516.50s. I just don't know where I'd risk into, but I have eyes on this year level, that is for sure. How are you doing here today, Sharif, ahead of the auction, which we're still waiting on those numbers?
All right, so I'm 4 pennies out of the money right now on MNKD, but there is the alert for ASST. So we've had shorts for this one. Thank you, Neil. And there it goes. It broke VWAP, and it's tanking now. So now what's the move? What's the move here? Do we wait for a pop back into that 320 area? It's already breaking 3. So lots of weakness here. Does it bounce off 3? I'm not going to take it long as a breakout trade here above 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a short a little bit higher. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it up at 15s. We'll see if we can get in at 15 here on ASST. If it gives us the bounce back, fantastic. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Here it comes. Let's see what it does. Now, what's the move? So if we get filled here, what's the move? Well, to me, it's a break above 325 and I'm gonzino, right? Because I need this to stay below the volume weighted average price. It's coming into my area here. Come on, bro, fill me. So we're going to have to wait here to get filled. It's not filling quite yet. Even though we're printing 15s, it's not filling me. So we're going to have to wait. It's a bit of a spread. Yeah, 2 penny spread on a $3 name. You don't typically want to see that, but that's the look. We got the auction, Adira. Anything there?
I'm not seeing the number yet.
Okay.
Don't worry, guys. I have my eyes on it. I've been refreshing it. No number yet. Sometimes it takes a moment to populate.
All right, I'm short Apple at this level, but I'm going to get out real soon here because the whole point was to basically, why isn't it triggering my out? I can never understand why the scripts don't work. I'm looking at this level here on Apple, and I like this level because this is the 925 area.
Oh, it's 2.41. Oh, sorry, 3.645% versus 4.121% previous. So it's a bit lower here than the previous.
Okay, I just lost 20 pennies there on Apple. I have to get out of that. The market's popping right back up, so we're going to have to let that one go. And AST is not letting me in. It hasn't filled me quite yet. There is some weakness on the bid. Unsurprising there, it is below VWAP, so we'll see if this one can recover. But I'm going to punch in here because it's not letting me in. So we're going to give this one the old college try, and we're going to basically look to defend that 3 1/4. So this is not the end of the matter on ASST. I would not mind adding into a better position because I didn't have the best entry on this one, but we're going to look to wet our beak possibly at the whole dollar over here. But that's the move right now on ASST. I've been waiting for this one to break VWAP. I just hope I don't get bamboozled on this one. Let's go back into MNKD, and this one tanks as well, so we get stopped out of that one. Yeah, a bit of a tougher. So now taking 2 hits here on these small cap gappers. Hopefully ASST can print something a little bit better.
Yeah. Shout out to live trading with TraderTv.live / I am assuming Ramin. Don't mind me, just pumping and cooking the books. Shout out, or Ramin or Fabian. Is it Fabian? Shout out to both of you. Ramin and Fabian killing it every single day. Ram on the Chilean Nightmare, as Sharif calls them. This sounds like a great band. I would actually, I would enjoy that band. But also, AMD, I'm taking short here, and I want to explain why, because I'm sure, shout out to the Trader TV Live Turkey. I want to explain why I'm going short AMD here, because this might look, oh no, I don't want to go long AMD here. Come on, guys, no. I'm going long or short AMD here because I like what we're doing here. I like this topping tail candle we're trying to form at VWAP. You know what else is forming a topping tail candle at VWAP, you may ask? The futures. So I like that confluence. To be fair, I think that push that AMD had above VWAP was gorgeous, but we couldn't hold it. I'm risking near into 40, so I'm risking 20 cents. I'm adding if we break 147s, not because it's a whole dollar level, though I do like my whole dollar levels, but also because look at this like little shelf area we had earlier before we cracked. I want to add if we break that shelf. I want to break that shelf, Sharif, with violence, with swiftness, with viciousness. This is a tiny position. This is a scintilla of shares. But we can add to that scintilla. We can build this position to a big adult scintilla. I don't know. But we're going to be adding here at 147s. If I add at 147s, my stop is going to be break even. As I said, currently as it stands, my stop 147.40. So if we get above that little wick, I want none of that business. I'm going to have to go John Wick and burn the world and get out of that trade. So please get into that chat. Let us know if you want to look at any tickers. Exclamation point join to the space, to the dollar sign, to the ticker. Or as Sharif says, exclamation, shift 1, join, space,
get down.
4. Get down, says Sharif to Ast. You don't need any assistance with that. That's
hopefully.
An asset, that trade. Great job. Shout out to you,
Thank you,
Sharif. Oh, you're also in the Apple? What?
Yeah, but it's just giving me all sorts of trouble here. I'm trying with Apple. It's just too strong. So maybe stop shorting Apple if it's strong. So we're going to let this one cook, keeping an eye on ASST. It's getting some support at $3, and that's the situation with AAPL. Or sorry, ASST. Yeah, that's what happened when I two names. So this one, I'm going to get out if it breaks above that 320 area. So we'll pack our patience with that one. But Apple stopped out again. Oh, my God. So let's just go long now on AAPL because it looks like it is curling back up into that 228 level. 228.03 is technically the high of the day. It keeps getting me out. I hate this. All right, there we go. Now we're going to get long and see what comes from there. 227. Yeah, okay. Are you in a trade?
Yeah, but I can talk if you need me to talk.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
AMD, we're like slightly. We're like a couple pennies in the money here on AMD. Like I said, we're adding at AMD if we get to 147.20s. 147s. We're at 147.20s. We're getting a little bit of grain on this year book. It's been really bamboozling, but since I've been involved, we have not cracked above 147.30. So I haven't been more than 4 pennies out of the money since getting involved. Of course, that can change. SMCI, I want to shout out, Sean, can we get the dollar club emoji, please? It's not for me, it's for these people in the chat. I forgot that you also have it. Thank you. There are people here with $20 winners in the chat for SMCI, so I want to shout y'all out. I am very pleased as punch for all of you. That is awesome. See that 414 level, I knew once that broke. Oh my gosh, Fabian, why are you on? Fabian's on my shoulder. Hi, Fabian. Oh, he ran away. Shout out to translucent Fabian there. Pleased as punch for that. Again, we want to shout out Fabian and Ramin because of all the innovations they bring to this here channel. But yeah, that 414 level on SMCI, once it broke, man, did it break. Should have been watching this as a long. Alas, I did not, and that's something to aggressively journal over. Someone earlier was asking, what does your aggressive journaling entail? Honestly, just like it's breaking down the trades. It's why did I take this trade? Did this make sense? Is this a playbook trade? Did I trade it appropriately? Was the planning appropriate? Kind of breaking down what went wrong and what went right, so you know what to repeat or what to not repeat. That is my aggressive journaling. There. Yeah, I thought there was a new $20 club button, says Random Oddities. Yeah, I feel like $20 clubs since Nvidia split are a little bit rarer, right? And it was Sean used to have like $30 clubs in Nvidia when it was an almost $1,000 stock. Again, I'm going to press the confident button for all these SMCI longs here. When you're $20 longs, I really want to shout you guys out. Again, I find levels on SMCI here 403, 407, and 414. 410 as well, but those to me are the key levels for SMCI. If you see anything on the way down that you're like, hey, support, resistance, that's what I noticed from watching the book on SMCI, and to a degree that one might call obsessive. AMD, I think, is gonna dump me out of this stock here. We are 2 pennies away from we broke above 40s violently. We need to get out. One thing too that I'm gonna be noticed, I think will be a theme of the journaling today, is like, hey Adara, I think you have some of the level. Yeah, I guess I'll say hi to myself. I think I have some of the levels right, but it's like instead of getting short and risking into there, maybe you get long when it breaks above there, right? If you think there's gonna be that violence. So one example here would be this Nvidia trade. Oh, wow, Nvidia looks like a good long here. Okay, I got short Nvidia. You can't really see because there were a lot of fills here, but I got short at 125s, and I risked it into 125.15s because I was like, oh, that level. Oh, it's going to be a good level. We brushed into it. I'm like, Adara, why are you not flipping long? The way the book is creeping. So, you know, when you see a book creeping, you got to creep out, and you got to switch up your direction, right? Because it's trying to catch you. It's trying to slap the ask. And if you're short, you want to protect yourself. So that's definitely a look. Jay Lee saying we'll need to have a special YouTube mod to go to 0.75 times speed when you're excited. Always enjoy. Shout out to you, Jay Lee. I know, guys, when I get really excited, I talk even faster than my normal speed, which is pretty expedient.
Yes, yes.
So I understand
Your
that you guys
brain
are bearing
works
with
fast,
me.
though, so that's
Yeah,
kind of the
because
situation
I'm trying to keep up
there.
with everything that's happening with markets. But what's having you go markets right now?
All right, so I'm in ASST short here. I'm looking to defend that $0.25. So once it broke down below VWAP, I changed my bias from long to short. Now it's going to be about managing the position properly and whether it goes your way. So we'll have to wait and see here. Well, 1 penny in the money, but looking to add and take some out there at the 10 penny level. We'll have to wait and see if it can work its way down there. But ASST obviously up 63 some odd % on the day. It did break through that volume weighted average price. Earlier, I think I was saying it looked like possibly a head and shoulders pattern, but sometimes there's a bit of confirmation bias there, so I don't put too much stock into that. Left shoulder head, long, deformed right shoulder, no problem. We won't judge them. That's body shaming, and I don't want to do any of that. So that's
You just called it deformed, Sharif.
well, you know, I took it back, Adara. I mean,
That is true, you redacted it immediately after.
I redacted. I withdrew it. I didn't redact it. I can speak English, I promise. Shout out to Ram Ram. Thanks, Ram Ram. Love you too.
Still can.
So we're keeping an eye right now on ASST. Katina, man, what's going on that side of the desk? Any ideas that you want to share? The Katina man is short. Palantir at 30.31. So he's taking the
That was that level I called out.
It was a good call.
Happy.
The Katina man is long KSS at 1950. I love that because it's kind of like a skewed double bottom. I was watching KSS Katina man for a VWAP hold. And let me tell you, there was no holding of any kind at this VWAP break. Yes, we were looking at this one, and look at the aggression with which this one gave up VWAP, finding a bit of a random area right there at 1920. Didn't have eyes on that, wasn't sure what was going on there, but there you go. Nice move up there, now knocking the door of $20. Shout out to Katina man taking this bad boy long. So yeah, packing my patience still with ASST, looking for that 10 penny breakdown, and then ultimately looking for that $3 breakdown. So this is a test of a previous area of former support, that 3 1/4, 3 1/5. You want to see it break down below that level, come back, test it, then drop again. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. We'll see if it manifests or not. I should also tell you that Chewy still very strong. CHWY was earnings winner. Was it this morning or yesterday?
This morning.
This morning, thank you. Still holding the 10 exponential at times when things got a little bit more retracey. It did find support at the 20, as you can see the yellow line there, but then worked its way right above the 10. It's at the 10 now, baby, 30 1/4. JKL146, 499 super chat. Thank you very much. My man just ran to grab a bite. Chocolate chips and a spoon of peanut butter. Nvidia has earnings whisper released by JPM circulating. Oh my God. Remember when we talked about earnings whispers?
Earnings whisper.
Yeah, it's not just the website, Adara.
No, it's an actual thing. People circulate them.
And that's the look, right? We've talked about these earnings whispers before. And
yeah, sometimes you want to take them with like a scoop of peanut butter with chocolate.
Woohoo! Yeah, no, seriously though. She's joking, but that's like...
I'm being serious.
Yeah, exactly. So we got to be careful with those. Obviously, fantastic look. If it's accurate and we do well, let me know. What do they say? JKL, let me tag me there. Let me tell me what's the bias, what's the consensus in the earnings whispers release there. I'd love to know. I think a lot of our viewers would like to know as well. So shout out to you. Thank you for putting that, and thank you for the $4.99 super chat. I just want to remind you guys to get your vote on. Nvidia is on earnings today, and if you want to see how Neil and Sean feel about it, or how they trade it, or what the look would be with respect to an earnings play, get into the chat, vote for Nvidia, vote for whatever tickers you want. I know a lot of people want to talk about ASST, a lot of people talking about BOF. What a move that was. Jay Lee, he's long, he's long, SOXS. He's taking the microchip short, at least he was earlier. So get into the chat and have your say every day. Otherwise, it's not going to get covered. The afternoon rundown is all about you guys, Adara.
It is, and it's brought to you by Real Trading.
Bang.
Speaking of the leather jacketed one, aka Nvidia, because I'm trying to find different ways to use Sharif's the whatever one, the dead one, the monster, the soft one, as he used to call Microsoft. But Nvidia, I am confident. I'm confident in this short. Shout out to Jay Lee, who was talking about 125.90. That ended up being way more of a level than I thought it was. So I see us reject 125.90, and I was like, Adara, you could go short 125.90, or you could go short 125.70s. Now, why would I do that, you may ask? Well, that was a level I saw in the book earlier. I was trading around this level earlier, and I liked it. My thing is, I'll be a little bit more like, I'll take book levels more as my stop or my profit taker sometimes if I've watched them and I know how we move around them. If we break below 50s, I'm adding to Nvidia. It looks like we want to, so we're going to add here a nice little scintilla of shares at 51s. Should we break below there? Let's go, Nvidia. Okay. So in terms of where will the profit taking begin, I'm taking out a third at 31s. Again, this is just based on previous levels here. That's why I added at 50s, and that's why I was going to risk into 90s. That's why I got involved at 70s. Any area where we had any kind of chippity-choppity on the book earlier, guess how much smoke I want around there? Oh my gosh, Sharif. We just took some profit here at 30s. Now 15s was the next level that I really liked here. So if we get to 15s, now we're already back here. We just bounced. So if we get back to 15s, we're taking out another third. I want all the smoke. If we break above 50s, I'm out. I will use my support resistance flippity-floppities. I'll get out. But I want, Sharif, so much smoke here at Nvidia. And I think Jensen and his leather-jacketed crew, maybe they don't all wear leather jackets. I shouldn't make assumptions. But I think this level might work. Also, you know what's really hard, Sharif, is when you have the right level in a stock and you get top wick and then it goes down. My AMD short, this was the right call, I think. I think I played this appropriately. I think I had the right idea with this. I was getting stopped at 44s or 40s. It looks like we wicked as high here as 44s before moving down. So I missed this by 4 cents. We had this beautiful move down and amped, but you know what? You cannot be too upset. You get what you get, and you don't get upset in trading. That's one thing, too, that I want to do with my journaling is reflect, like, hey, how could you set the stop better? Are there ways to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, especially in the Nvidias, in the AMDs of the world that you know are going to give you a little bit more herky-jerky moves? That's the thing I want to work on. Nvidia bouncing off 30s right now is a bit concerning to me because, like I said, 30s was a huge resistance support level, hence why I took out some profit there. But we're back below 30s. If we wick here into 15s, I want smoke. Now, you might ask, Adara, where would your next level be? And I'll tell you. I think it would make sense if I said to you 125s, but I'm not going to say to you 125s. And the reason I was saying to you 125s is because I watched this herky-jerkiness when we had these two bottoming tail candles. Nvidia did not give a hoot about 125. It gave no hoots about 125 straight. You know what levels Nvidia cared about?
What?
The 125.30, which is, again, why I got some out there. And the other level Nvidia liked was 124.80s. So if we break 125s, I have no peak wetters to 124.80s. That's where I'm getting everything out. That would also be a cool little winner there. And again, not about the profit, not about the loss. It's about the P&L, the progress and learning. I know that 125.15 is a level too because we just bounced off 16s before coming back. So I'll be aware of that. I'll be watching, waiting, scheming, plotting, scheming, getting money. Shout out to Drake's Furthest Thing, one of the most underrated Drake songs, in my humble opinion. We're going to do that lesson soon because it is 1:17 p.m.
Because we did it a little bit later.
Right.
You're good. You're good. Yeah.
Appreciate that. If anyone's looking at anything in the chat, then please let us know what you want to look at because the segment is brought by you. We remind you of the segment a lot because it's a segment we're really excited about because it's audience-based. You hear us talk all day, but what if we were talking about tickers you picked? And we actually do. Sharif gesticulates wildly on the green screen, and he'll give you all those tickers you want. He'll give you the news. He'll give you the story. He'll give you his take on the futures, or the future, as he will likely call them. So if you want to know what's going on there, yes, we broke that 125.15 wall, but wall or not, I apologize for interrupting my spiel. Please, guys, make sure you vote for tickers. SMCI about to rip, says Harmon B. Again, I really do want to shout out all the SMCI. I don't disagree with you, Harmon. Oh my gosh. And we went into 417. So 417 was a huge area of resistance earlier. When I was long initially, I was looking for that 417 area. Look at the way we bounce off 417. Now, to be clear, this bottoming tail candle was precipitated, to use a word Sharif uses that I also really like, by a topping tail candle. Now, I find this type of pattern can go either way, but you know what it does scream is bamboozlement. That being said, I like the area at which we bounced, that 417. I think that's kind of interest. And also, it is, if we can clear that 425 area, I think that would be a good look there. That is for sure. Sorry, Fabian, I know I'm always moving my mic. All herky-jerky. But how's Nvidia going? Still below 125.30. Cool. I'm pleased as punch with that. Like I said, if we break 125, I want to see blood. And I want to see blood until we get to 124.80s, at which point I'll be out. But yeah, SMCI, great look. Futures, bearish chop, says Alex Diaz. Yeah, it's interesting too, because we do have that chop. Oh, I put 4 Qs. We have that chop here in the futures, but we also have here, that is worth noting, is higher highs and higher lows. So that's worth noting here for the futures. I think in addition to the chop, one level I like is that 471. We had a bit of a flat top break on this earlier. Then we made a higher high. Now we're back below. 471.60s is actually of interest to me, and I might actually play this. I wouldn't play it on the TQs. I would play it on the Qs because, like I said, the TQs and I are not besties. I don't know why. It's just how it is. How are you doing?
Good. I'm in Apple, about 8 pennies out of the money on this trade at the moment. It did dip down aggressively and then find a support area at the previous area low. It didn't make a new low. So I'm basing my out on this area low over here, looking to add if it does dip into that area. I'd like to see it possibly curl back up into that 50 penny area if it breaks this area low right here on this candle at 110. The 5-minute candle, if it breaks that, then we're gone. We're looking for Apple to hold up at this area. It was a big move down. Quite frustrating for me initially anyway, trying to short this. Absolutely had the right idea at that 227.70. There was an obvious area of technical resistance there. I got chopped up trying to trade it that way. Should have been more bias on my entry given that area trough that we had in the morning, and I ended up really giving away what could have been a really good trade. So that's on me. Hopefully we can make up for it for the long on here. If we weasel in. Oh, I don't have any beak wetters. I just noticed that. So let's see. What are we? Okay, so let's go 227. We'll go at 43 over here. We'll see if we can get something in and around that area. But I'm looking for higher lows to hold up here. If it doesn't hold up, then that's the end of the trade. So we're basing it off the trough of this candle. It's been a mixed day for some of these Mag 7 names. You had weakness right off the bat with a lot of them. Then there were some standouts. Nvidia started showing its strength. People are saying, by the way, that JP Morgan circulating earnings whisper about Nvidia, the earnings. Yeah, people are saying that. I'm trying to find out what exactly he said, but still working on that continuum. But yeah, apparently that's out. Not sure how accurate that is, though. Shout out to the person who super chatted and let us know there. What's his name again?
JKL.
JKL, thank you. Did he ever respond there to anybody?
No. I think he said it was on Instagram.
It was on the gram, eh? Okay. Yeah, so that's the look there. Packing my patience on these trades, trying to figure out what bias is right now on the future. What is it looking like? It's looking like we're going to break down below 19.4. And if obviously that happens and the Apple position ends up getting stopped out, that's the look. Tesla just gave whoever an opportunity there at the volume weighted average price. Gnarly double bottom at 204 and a fifth. Weasels its way into 207. Happens to be the volume weighted average price. And there you go. A buck in the money super quick there on TSLA. It's been awfully weak today. It's been awfully weak for a while. Tesla was one of those wild ones as well. Showed a lot of strength early on, went super green going through into that 212 area, and then quick as you like, it was right back down below 206. So yeah, Tesla's been an interesting one today. I think the Mag 7 in general have all been interesting. Let's flip to some of these small cappers, see what's up. So I did get stopped out of the remaining amount on ASST as it was able to reclaim the volume weighted average price. However, the lower highs still in play on this one. So we'll have to see if we can weasel something into this. Perhaps maybe something based on this area high over here. So that 356, 355, if you were to get in here in the high 330s or at 340, your stop placement could be based upon that area crest there. So we'll keep tabs on that as well. But this Apple trade still about 1 or 2, break even on it at the moment, but looking for this one to move up. If it doesn't, we're going to get stopped out through the break of 227.05. Yeah, dear?
Okay, sorry, I'm always sometimes
worries,
bad at
you're good, you're good.
when the handoffs are happening. As I put in the chat, I got out of NVIDS slash Nvidia because we broke above 125.30 and held it. I was like, no, get out there. Took 20 pennies in the remainder of that position. Immensely proud of what I saw here. And I have to say, this trade also gave me, thank you, I appreciate that, Sharif. This trade kind of like gave me a little bit of faith in my ability to read the book and read the chart. Every level that I flagged as maybe an issue or maybe an interesting level of interaction came through. So it's like, Adara, you don't need to trade every move under the sun, but you do have some ability to read some of these moves. And sometimes, I'm not going to lie, sometimes you even need that little bit of confidence. You just keep on going. I don't mind that at all. Tesla, I'm in this short. I want to explain why I'm in this short. I know I haven't traded Tesla in many moons, but I have the Tesla book up always. I always watch Tesla at $100 levels. I watch Tesla at 206, and I'm like, Because as Sharif said, the big dog move on Tesla is over. We had that gorgeous short from 207 to 206. But then, look where we're kind of having these topping tail candles. Below the 90 MA at the $100 level. The tape is slowing. Also, look at this kind of ability to make a little bit of a bottom here at that previous area of resistance, 205.85s.
36.
If we break 205.85s, I'm adding to this position. I'm risking 20 cents. I'll risk into 206.20s, but I want more than that, Sharif. I want so much smoke. I want at least this action here at 205.60. So I'm trying to make minimum 40 cents. I'm also, as I said, I'll add to this position. If we break that little support resistance flip-flop area of 205.85s, I will add there just a scintilla, because that will show an addition in confidence. That's one thing I've realized too. You shouldn't be adding shares because you want more money. You shouldn't be adding shares because you want that big win. And I say this as someone who used to do this. You should be adding because you have additional confidence. And so you want to reflect that additional confidence by adding in the position. Oh, if it breaks this level, the trade is higher probability. That's the type of thing you should be doing. Speaking of higher okay, Tesla might give me my level. We're going to wait there. Speaking of higher probability, some people were asking if SMCI is a flip short now. Here's my take on SMCI as someone who was waxing poetic about this book earlier. I have the same levels that I like on SMCI. And I said that 417, if we break 417 violently, that could be the short, but to me, that 414 is huge. Look at the failure to break above this earlier. Then we sell off. The way we break above this, look at the following candle. That range per candle for that last candle, to use a Sharifism, that's a wild range per candle. So I would say what you really want to see in SMCI is 417 and 414 interaction. If we chop and churn around there, things could get interesting, but I think SMCI has not made decisions to is it above that level or below that level. As someone who watched the book on that, I think I watched the book on every single 414 interaction. I'm not even going to lie, except for these ones earlier before the midday. But I watched the book on all these other 414s, and I have to say that to me is the level. 417 is also a good level. 410 also a level, but 414. Harman B saying, I like distressed tickers, LOL. I feel that. I have no idea what that's in reference to. I know you're tagging someone else there, but I just love, instead of distressed denim, it's a distressed ticker. Some tickers are just in pain. Some tickers, they're having a moment.
I think he means maybe like they're distressed companies. I don't know. I'm just assuming.
I know. I honestly, I just loved it as a phrase, so I just shouted it out. That's sometimes, I know I shouted a lot of stuff in the chat, but it's like, you got to give the community some lurv over here. Tesla also giving me some lurv because it's still, while it is bouncing off my 205.80s in a way I don't love, we have not made really a higher high here at all. We're still below that 206, which, like I said, is what I want to see. I'm actually risking, as I say that, Tesla's like, oh, you want to see me go above 206? I'm like, you don't have to, Tesla. Stable. Keep that down. Keep it down, Tesla. But yeah, so that's an interesting look. Nvidia, happy with my exit here, trying to reclaim 125.70. These are just decidedly higher lows. And again, when Nvidia broke down, it never broke 125. It held 125.15, which, as I said, that was the level. It actually bounced off 125.15 a couple times. So if you're involved in NVDA, that 125.15 level, pretty big support. And we saw it when we cleared that earlier. That was smooth sailing from then on out. So I would be watching those levels. Was there news to drop the SPY? It says ACK. We had the auction, but we actually had the auction move a little bit. We had the auction like quite a bit before we had that drop. So unsure. I think the market is a little bit struiced. The market's a little bit distressed, not just the tickers. The market getting a little bit of anxiety ahead of Nvidia earnings. We have a lot of analysts, too, including Dan Ives, saying Nvidia earnings the most important market event of the year.
Oh, wow.
Lots of people really, really shaking in their boots because NVDA is expected to have an implied move here of $300 billion in market cap in either direction. So this is going to be maybe huge. I don't want to overhype it or anything, but it's NVDA. You can't really overhype a company that has moved so much in the way that it has. So definitely be aware of that. I'm chopping, chilling in Tesla, and we're going to do that less soon. But how are you doing before we, wow,
Good.
people pushing VWAP. How are you doing?
Finally good here on Apple. We're in the money on this one. I took a bigger position here because this was 2 additions. So now we're going to look for a new high of daybreak. I'm not taking out anymore. I did have this beak wetter over, not beak wetter. This was an ad to 27.15. That may go unfilled. It looks like here it comes 50 pennies. All right, now we're 25 pennies in the money. Let's see if we can run a little bit more here. I'm looking for a possible move into the high of day and a possible new high. I've been lulled to death on this ASST. I feel I have the right idea here. We're still putting in lower highs, but it's catching a bid. So whether I feel like I have the right idea or not doesn't matter. It just has to manifest, Adara.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that murder.
That's the way it is, right? So that's the look there. Apple zigging and zagging, finding support at the, resistance at the $0.50. So I don't have to pack my patience there. But it's really ASST that I need to focus on here the most, because I'm trying to work this one down. Look, here's what I see on the 5-minute chart. It's a little bit less convoluted, or it's a little bit less noisy on the 5-minute, put it that way. So what we're seeing here is a succession of lower highs. I'm basing it off this trough, but crest, but you can base it off this one, the 56. I would rather not. I'd rather base it on the 50, like the actual $0.50 break. There was a good amount of support or resistance there at the $0.50. You have this outlying candle over here, which does take that out. So it looks like it's headed back north again. So kind of frustrating. Feel like you have the right idea, and I'm going to get stopped out. Here we go. Breaking through that level again is ASST. The spread opening up, hence why I haven't got stopped out yet. So we'll see if this one catches a quick sell down in again, but it is working its way up into the 40s, and I'm keeping my eye on the color that's being displayed on the time and sales, because it is actually, that's kind of the way that I set it up there, is to show me color when buyer exuberance is very strong. Typically what I'll see is a lot of orange and a lot of green. Orange means above the ask, and green obviously means at the ask. When you see blue and you see red, blue is below the bid and red is at the bid. So they're selling at the bid. When you see blue, they're selling below the bid. And here we go. We're working back right into that 340 area again. So ASST looks like as if it doesn't want to give up the ghost, and it's going to hang out near or above the volume weighted average price. We're going to pack our patience with this one come what may. We're at the $0.50 again here on Apple. We're 25 pennies in the money on this one, but there is sellers. There is a seller of note at the $0.50. And here's a look. When we were at this 30 area, mid 30s, there was a seller of note at 35, kind of a random area to have a big boy seller, but that was the look. And we breached through that. We broke through it after multiple attempts of unable to break at that 35. We did break through it. So let's see now if we can continue to zig and zag above that 227.50. Let me have a quick look here at the dead one on the 5. I'm kidding when I say the dead one, of course, guys. It just means Apple.
It's an old nickname.
Yeah, it's an old nickname.
That it did deserve at the time.
Yeah, it did. It did. And quite frankly, over here, I'm looking at the future, and what we are seeing here is kind of the similar look that we're seeing on Apple. Higher low, higher low, higher low, with a couple of higher highs. Most notably, though, we are still below the volume-weighted average price on all these Mag 7 names, without exception. You have Goggles knocking on the door, and you have Nvidia knocking on the door. Tesla did knock on the door, but the Cybertruck shut the door in its face, much like I did when I went. Exactly, Adair, exactly. So that's the look there. We're working, again, the $0.50 here on AAPL, and it looks as if we're stacking up the ask again at that level, so unable to break the $0.50, at least for now on Apple, down 0.25%, faring much better than any of the other Mag 7 names. Get down, asked. Come on, so we defend that 40 penny level, yet we're unable to break through that $0.25. So again, something tells me that there's likely a buyer at the said $0.25. And here we go, we're at the $0.25. Are they gonna step in? Not yet, they're not. Let's go. Let's go down a little bit more. We broke through the $0.25. Let's see if we can get the fifth of a dollar now. So where am I hanging out? I'm hanging out at 21. So it looks as if, we're going to have to wait here a little bit, because every time we dip into that $0.25, a little bit, maybe a couple pennies below the $0.25 and ask, we're met with a wall of buying. True to form, we're moving up again. However, Even though there's local buying around there, I'm still instructed by the lower highs that we're getting on ASST. So I don't want to take this out too quick and then basically paper hand the trade. I'd rather get stopped out and allow the trade to manifest, come what may.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
So we did break up the $0.50 there on Apple. We got into 54 Zadera, but there does seem to be a little bit of selling above the $0.50. So we're going to have to pack our patience here.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to
You're
cut you off
good,
there.
you're good.
I got down to Tesla because it bamboozled me. We'll talk about Tesla after. He does not sound bamboozled, though.
No,
Shout
I
out
took
to
it out.
Sharif.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm very happy for you there. Also, before we do the lesson, D. Westermeyer asking you here about KSS. Yeah, I'll take a look at KSS. I got to say that there's not a lot to see. I'm going to be really honest. We just got a bit of red coming in on this book. When I say there's not a lot to see, I'm seeing maybe a bit of a bull flag here. We do have these flooring at the bottom, though, which is not typically what you see of a bull flag. You don't usually see like all of this selling, then we get a bull flag. Bit of support here at 1940s. Then we push higher. Now we're seeing a bit of consolidation. I think if we can reclaim this 1995 area, like this $20 area, I don't think that's a bad look at all because we definitely, A, you know, that $10 level, hold on level. B, we do have this wick earlier that was unfulfilled. So I think if we can break above that 20s, then we kind of break above that 2010. I don't think that's a bad look at all. But I will say it's in a little bit of no man's land. There's not a lot of price action mirroring like what we saw earlier, right? That 2001's maybe that previous support there could maybe be a look. But generally, KSS, I think we had that push up here. At 11, we started selling off. Lower highs, lower lows, then we broke below VWAP, and we've kind of been strongly to the downside since. So that would be my take there on KSS. I don't think I would give it a kiss or a hug right now for KSS. Also, this daily chart, though, kind of interesting level for me, that 19. We have a little bit of a hold there, trying to push higher. Again, I think if we, like, for me, the daily level, I like this 2050. If we could, that was, I think, clearly some resistance earlier that we wicked into a couple times. If we could hold that resistance, I would like that look on KSS. Shout out to MN Racer here. Adara has the best levels, just made 2 winning trades or a stop with 10 cent over. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I appreciate what you said earlier as well, saying like I should be taking my trades at my stop levels. I need to try doing that because I don't, like I said, I have decent confidence or confidence in my levels. I just think I play them appropriately. With that in mind, I know I said I was going to wait to do this. We'll look at my Tesla trade because this would have worked out. So basically what I did is I got involved in Tesla 206. I initially risked it into 206.20s because 206.20s was that area we kind of wicked into earlier. I don't really like to give Tesla more than 20 cents. I liked all these kind of wicks. While I'm in it, we get into 206.18. Then we sell off. I'm like, cool, confidence, great. I add at the break of 205.85. That was a huge area. If we broke it, I wanted in. We broke it, I added. Then I said I have to move my stop. So I moved my stop on Tesla to 206.10s. Wick above that, I get out. Now Tesla's back to the downside. Shout out to you though, MN Racer. I appreciate that. And I've considered this before too. Sometimes I get stopped out and then those levels end up working out. AMD. So I appreciate, I'm happy to hear my levels are working for someone. I really do appreciate the kind words there, MN Racer. And that's what the aggressive journaling's for. So you learn a little bit every day. But you know what else helps you learn every day, Sharif?
Ooh,
Lessons.
I like it.
Thank you. I like transitions. So the stochastic oscillator, which we're going to talk about today, it is a momentum indicator or momentum oscillator that measures the closing price of a security relative to its high-low range over a specific period. Also, Javier Diaz, your comment is hilarious. KSS, my ASST. I got a kick out of that. So you made me laugh, and no one removed your comment, so that's awesome, and I'm happy for you.
I know.
But basically, we have this stochastic oscillator often being used here to identify overbought and oversold conditions, as we see with a lot of oscillators. So here's the example of the stochastic oscillator here. You've got your price, now you have your oscillator kind of moving along, oscillating along with your price. So how do you calculate this? For my math nerds, I am one. So this consists of 2 lines. One is going to be the percentage of the K line, which is calculated here as the close of the close minus low divided by the high minus low over 100. So you're going to divide close minus low over the high minus low times 100. What about your percentage of the D line? That's the 3-period simple moving average of your K line. Because your K line, everything divided by something by 100, that is going to be a
Ayo.
Yeah, AO will say that. I was going to say this is going to be a percentage, right? So, but the close is going to be the closing price. The high is your highest price, and the low is your lowest price. Also, shout out to Ponzi Fonzie saying faster, please. I got a kick out of that.
Pawns.
How do you understand the K percentage of the K line and percentage of the D line? So the K represents the current closing price relative to the recent high-low range. So a value of 100 indicates the closing price is at the highest point of the range, Well, a value of 0 indicates that the close is at the lowest point of the range. So you want to see, of course, where you exist in the range. This is also something I should look at because I like ranges, even though I guess oscillator may be a bit different. But the percentage of the D line is a smooth version of the percentage of the K line, which is calculated as a 3-period simple moving average of percentage of the K. So this smoothing helps to reduce the noise and make the signal more readable. Like we've talked a lot about these smoothing lines with regards to the MACD as well. Has got some different lines here to kind of clear things up because there's so many lines interacting in so many different ways. If we can make it easier, that's what we want. So here's the example of the percentage of the K line and the percentage of the D line here. So you put in your K, you put in your the D line. Didn't like how that sounded. And then you get to see how they interact here.
It's a football term.
On the stochastic, pardon?
It's a football term.
Oh, right, your D line,
defensive
defensive line.
So
That's true.
You're good there.
I forgot about the O line and the D line. Yeah, I forgot about that. Shout out to Winnipeg Blue Bombers, my team. Ooh. So, how do you use these lines? So the percentage of K line can be used to identify overbought and oversold conditions because when you've got the K line above 80, it's overbought and the reversal might be imminent. But if it's below 20, it indicates an oversold condition where a reversal might be imminent. So it's similar to what you see with the RSI. Any of these where you've got your over under and your 20 and your 70 or 20, 80, 30, 70, any like that. Also, Bears Rules reminding me we have 12 minutes left to vote. Guys, make sure you do that. Exclamation point, join space, whatever tickers you're fancy there. So percentage of the D line is used to confirm signals from K. So you've got your K. What do you do here? The D line will help you. So for example, if you have K percentage above 80, that can indicate the market is overbought. Oh, wait. Yeah, so the K line's overbought, but the percentage of the D line is still rising. That suggests that that overbought condition might continue. But if the percentage of the K line is overbought and the percentage of the D line is falling, suggests a potential reversal. So you're looking for some divergence. But what if you see them together? When they're used together, they can give you more robust signals because a bullish crossover will occur when the percentage of the K line crosses above the percentage of the D line, while a bearish crossover occurs when the percentage K line crosses below the percentage of the D. And these crossovers can signal potential trend reversals. So here's examples of overbought, oversold, how you see these lines cross when we enter these levels. You've got your overbought crossing here, oversold, and you see how these reflect here in what we see in the price. Get your oversold, look what happens to the price. Creeps back up. I like that. So here's examples here. One thing you want to do as well, it can help you exiting trades, like if you're involved, for example, like say, if we go back to this example, if you're short here and you see that oversold cross, you might be like, oh, gotta get out. But also you can help getting involved here, and they give you like hard examples. If you want to buy, for example, when you see the percentage, the K line crossing over the D, and you can see as you do that, you get that push higher. But then you might want to sell when the percentage of the K line crosses below the D. In this case, that might actually be a false signal though, Sharif, because we still have higher lows. So look at me adding more to these diagrams.
Oh, I like it.
Thank you. I appreciate Sharif always putting together lessons. Shout out to that. But how do you identify use this stochastic oscillator in trading? So, identifying overbought and oversold conditions, because what you can do here is use the stochastic oscillator, which is typically identified with overbought and oversold conditions here. You've got overbought above 80, oversold below 20, but these levels can vary depending on market conditions. You also might want to use them to confirm trends, because a rising stochastic oscillator can confirm an uptrend, but a falling stochastic oscillator can confirm a downtrend. What about identifying divergences? We love that. So when you've got the stochastic oscillator diverging from the price, that can signal a potential reversal. So if you've got the price making new highs, but the stochastic making new lows, or lower highs, sorry, that could indicate a bearish divergence because we're continuing to climb higher. We're having a little bit more stagnant to that growth on the SO. Might be an SOS from the SO. What about the stochastic oscillator compared to the MFI? Because we love comparing and contrasting all these indicators on the How to Trade show. Oh, I love that area you got long, Sharif. And I wish you luck. I hope you print. But both the stochastic and the MFI are oscillators that can be used to identify overbought and oversold conditions and potential reversals. But there are some key differences. One of them is going to be the focus, because the stochastic can focus here on price momentum, but you have the MFI focusing on both price and volume, though they are both momentum oscillators. Calculation is different too, because the stochastic is calculated based on the closing price relative to the high-low range, but the MFI is calculated based on positive and negative money flow, cash flow. And sensitivity, because the stochastic oscillator might be more sensitive to short-term price fluctuations, while the MFI might be more sensitive to volume changes. So to conclude, the stochastic oscillator is a valuable tool for technical analysis that can provide insights into market momentum and potential opportunities, but you want to understand more and how they interact with other indicators, so you have a better sense of that. Also, my Tesla trade that wakes me out would have been $1 in the money. So shout out to the person who took that trade. Shout out to MN Racer. I am pleased as punch for you. Happy the levels worked. I just need to learn how to play them better. And that's why we're here every day, Sharif, to learn and grow and to hear about your meta trade.
I'm here to talk to Obi every day. I don't know what anybody else is doing, but that's what I come to.
You know you're talking to me?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. I talk to other people as well, but I'm here for Obi. I don't know what I'm just saying. I just took a nice little print there on META. Happy with this trade. I'm still involved in ASST. There's a seller of note at the $30 penny area, excuse me. When we get closer, you'll be able to see the size reflected there on the book. But every time we've weaseled into that area, oh baby, we're printing here on Meta. Okay, so we just printed 51s. We're long 15s. Let's go, Meta. I want a 5/16 and a third print. That's where VWAP is. I'd be very happy, Mr. Zuckerberg, if we could get something like that. So we'll pack our patience here with Meta. We just took something else nicely there. All right, here we go. Now we're printing 53s on Meta. Let's go up a little bit higher, Mr. Meta. Let's go. We're going to pack our patience with there. Ah, dang it. Here we go on ASST. We're going to get stopped out of this one. We were waxing poetic, to use an Adair term, about the seller at 30s. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything because it just popped up. Look, I have a stop at above the area crest. I'm sticking to my stop on this guy because when I didn't on BOF, it ended up going like 50 pennies my way. So I'm not doing that this time. If it's going to take me out of this trade, I'm either going to get printed or I'm going to get stopped out. So we're going to see exactly which one happens here. So we're short at 29s. And by the way, I wet my beak on this one. I added again. So this was like not letting it off the hook kind of thing, but I've adjusted my stop to remain above that area crest over here at $3.42. So we'll see if we get right back up there. If we do, we'll get stopped out. If not, we'll move continually down. Now, let's see what the 5-minute chart shows over here. It looks like we do have resistance, no question about it, at this level. The only thing is I'm breaking my rule. Let's just call a spade a spade. I'm shorting this ahead or above VWAP. Now, why did I do that? Because when I shorted it last time below VWAP, well, you saw what happened. So I'm still instructed by these lower highs, and now that we've kind of found a little bit of support, now I know for a fact that this break of this area gets me out and I have the wrong idea. In fact, if we do break above decisively here, about 342, I'm taking ASST long. So that's the look there, and that's what I'm going to stick with. ASST, it's been profitable both ways, long and short, but looks like we're going to take it taken out. Here we go with 40. I got to have my finger on the flatten button here because in case we do, the liquidity could dry up, and there it is. We're going to break above, and I will get stopped out there. There's a triangle. Sucks to be me. Now we'll look to see if we can get into the long. We don't have to be first into the party here, but we definitely want to see if we can weasel our way right back into this trade in a different way, in whatever way it sets up. What's Meta doing? So Meta's coming right back down into my entry. I still have my stop exactly where it is. I was able to de-risk there. Maybe should have taken out more at 50s, but here is Meta breaking 515s. What's the future doing? Ah, I see. The future is right back at 19.4, and so is that fly. That fly is back, and I want to kill it.
Please do.
No, it's okay. What's
I'll
wrong?
hire you.
What happened? Get up the small cap gappers, easier trades with UAL. I mean, Jay, I know I like you, but you know, don't instruct me on what to do. Like, I'll trade as I please. And
UAL did have a story, though. I think
Go
I'm
ahead.
seeing some circulating here. The union said they voted 99.99% to authorize a strike per reports. They're trading a little bit lower. Not a lot of volume on this, though. They've only traded like 2.5 mil shares per day. But stick with your small caps because that's your asset.
So we have issues with that side, with labor, with airlines on this side of the border as well. I know Air Canada, what are they called? Pilots were protesting as well at Pearson. They did kind of like a silent protest where they just stood outside the terminal and they held up signs that held different messages. You know, I kind of found it to be quite a little bit noble there. Shout out to them. But that's the look. So it seems as if, you know, we're going to have issues with labor for a little bit of time. And we saw that. We saw that a long time ago with the UAW. We're continuing to see that. Lots of different labor issues happening in North America at the moment. So we'll pack our patience and see exactly what we get with all those. Nvidia is coming back down, Adara. You're rejecting the volume weighted average price. It's coming back right into 125. Uh-oh, we're about to break 19.4. So here we go, baby. Keep an eye out on that because we could get some blood here in these markets.
Yeah, I got short Nvidia 125.15. Like I said, that's like one of my big levels. I waited for it to break We broke below it. I got in. We're like a couple pennies in the money here. Like I said, my level for Nvidia is going to be what do we do at 124.80s? That is my big level for Nvidia. 124.80s, we got there. We had a bit of a double bottom here on a wick basis, and we flew. So I'm going to have a peak order ready for 124.80s. That will be what I do. But now, what else, Adara? What are you to do here? Well, I will be adding if we break below 125. I know I said I didn't give much of a hoot about 125, but it's still a whole dollar level. So I do care a little bit. Also, I'm risking into 125.30. I know when we break 125.30, to me, it's like an over-under thing. When you break 125.30, things get violent to the upside, albeit briefly. I want none of that smoke, Sharif. I'm willing to risk 15 pennies to make minimum 50. That is a good risk-to-reward ratio. Also, I have a very specific fear with Air Candidates, only Air Candidates, because I heard that story about that lady who got left sleeping on a plane and they forgot about her. And that is something that would 100% happen to me. And so now I'm really scared of Air Canada.
No.
So shout out to that lady. Happy to hear you all right now. No, literally they left her. Everybody left. She's like, and it's like winter, guys. She's like, banging on the window. Someone eventually found her like 2 hours later. But that is like, as someone who can fall asleep anywhere doing anything, it is just not, I don't want to tempt fate. We don't want to tempt fate, Sharif. But yeah, so UAL though, in terms of levels, to me, the best level was 41.40s. Look at that. It's not even a flat bottom break because we had higher lows. That looks like a Titanic iceberg. Then we chip top, then we to the downside. So UAL threw up there when that strike news hit. Let's see, Nvidia, can you break 125s? Can you break 125s? You know, oh, wow, Nvidia. Go, Nvidia.
Wow.
Make me proud, Nvidia. Make me proud,
Get it,
Nvidia.
Adara.
We're adding to this position. We got a nice old chunk of chairs, and we're getting some out if we get to 124.80, Sharif. You know what this is called? Well, it's called confidence. I call it confidence, but honestly, it's just believing in yourself, whatever fancy name you want to have for it. And that's what I needed to do again. Like I said, I needed to get back in the sim a little bit, and I don't plan on staying here for long, but I want to stay. I just need to get some more reps in, sets in, and believe in my levels. I do want to shout out that person in the chat who said apparently my levels made them some money. Definitely made them more than they made me. Because this Tesla stream, I'm so sad I got bamboozled out of this. Look at this short idea.
Wow.
I did not risk enough.
That's excellent. That's
Thank you.
actually excellent.
I'm proud of the level, though. I'm really proud of the level. I could have gotten back in. I arguably should have gotten back in. But I was like, oh, I want to focus on the lesson, which I stand by. That's cool. But next time, Adara, you literally have the Tesla book up all the time. Look how easy it is for me to pull up and show you guys. It's up all the time. I could literally look at it while doing the lesson.
What's going on?
Next time, do that. Looks more like Titanic, says Freddie the Friendly Guy. Yeah, I guess that is what happened a little bit to that UAL. But it is it's a plain stock. So my heart will go on, says Fabian's killing it with the puns.
He is. He's
this
actually
morning, we're
really
like,
good.
oh, Fabian's been doing puns since before you were born. And I was like, okay, guys.
Oh.
But shout out to Fabian and Ramin for killing it every single day. He says true, which I guess it could be.
Aren't you guys the same age?
He's a little bit older. I don't know if he was punning at that age. That's like
Damn,
classic.
Fabian, when did you start speaking?
He was punning.
1 year old.
I guess
there you
they
go.
think it's average age. Right? But snooze, you lose, says Spot Pod. Indeed, you don't want to snooze on these markets. You don't want to fall asleep on an Air Canada flight. And you don't want to sleep on what Sharif's doing over here. By the way, that I do love that meta. I know you got
I got
a
stopped
little
out of
choppy,
the
but
yeah.
that was a really nice entry level.
I did. I'm profitable on it. I was only lost about 10 pennies there, or no, 15 pennies on the break. I was able to take about 40 pennies on the pop. So positive on it right now. There's some winds of change coming on some of these stocks, guys. So I want to bring your attention to SMCI. It's getting right back into that 423. Here comes 427. This is awfully strong. And look at the respect that it had here for the 10 exponential. If I could zoom in on that little move down, it didn't even breach it. So good move right now for SMCI as it looks to get back up, still down 22.75%. Chewy also giving up the bid. So now the moving average, the 10 exponential moving down, and it's flat on the 20. So now it's breaking down below 30. We've had 5 red candles in a row now on the 5-minute chart on Chewy. So this one could be headed down as well. Keep your eye out on these levels. The one that we're at right now is an area trough, this 29.75. Below that, you got to keep your eye on 29.5. And then really nothing below until that 29 VWAP area, which kind of almost in the same area. You do have this area defend as well in 28.86, but that's more likely to jive with 29. And there's a whole lot of interaction, if I could say so, with this $29 area. You have an area crest over here at 950. You clear it, you come back down, you defend that same area. So if we do get back into 29, 29.10, 29 and change down here, This is an interesting ad for Chewy. It's already up 15.6%, and it has a big short float. I mean, we talked about this earlier, 11.92, generally about 12%. Don't know how many of those got pushed out of that move today on the pop back up. But yeah, Chewy, SMCI just rocketed up into the volume weighted average price. It retraced a little bit here, 426.60. This is the kind of insanity that you can get on SMCI. 426.55. It's back down into 421. It's moving dollars at a time, guys. So if you're ready to take a dollar on this, you got to be willing to risk plenty more because, yeah, Adara trades it. Obviously, she knows. So that's the move there. SMCI, a lot of volatility. One name that I completely missed out on today is S-Bucks. Who's seen this? Down almost 4%. Giving up a lot here. Started out its life at 98 2/3. Now we're down to 94.75. It was like uninterrupted to the downside there. We're at lows. We're printing lows. 94.71 just printed. So a lot of weakness in Starbucks, and it's unabated here. Not really moving with the market at all. So something's afoot right now with S-Bucks, and everything in Mag 7 world is headed down Adara. Wow, what an afternoon it's been. Any final thoughts before I weasel my way on?
How was it the end of the day already, Sharif?
Crazy.
Yeah, Nvidia, like I said, very proud of the levels I called it on the book because they all hit. I said 124.80 was going to be spicy. I had my like peak wetter here, shout out to this animation at 124.80. You know what we do? We like bounce off 124.82s, go all the way back up to 125s. We sell back off. It was like, okay, Adara, your level is, if your level hits, it's going to hit. Breathe. Breathe. Stay chill. I breathed, my level hit.
Wow.
Now, what's my next level? 124.35. So that was a huge level once we eclipsed that. I was long in that time earlier, so I know what I'm looking for. We are about intermittently 15 to 25 pennies away from that level, Sharif. I think I might get all my peak winners and everything I want for Christmas. You could be down, you could be upset. And I think one of the reasons I like to stay positive on this show is because trading can make you very grumpy. It is a very solitary sport. It's a sport that takes a lot out of you, but you know what you got to do? You're going to fight. You're going to be like, no market, no cry. I will fight harder every day. We'll work. We'll push. Whether you aggressively journal, whether you just talk it out here, whether you're just part of this community, I think you can try to grow every single day. That's what I'm trying to do here. Nvidia, if you want to stay below 60s, I would love that. So you just took a quick
I tried. It came back into that level of Adara. There was a triple bottom, so I have to try, right? And I got stopped out for a 10-penny loser there. No, this is the level that I was looking at for on TSLA. It came in 204. I gave it the old community college try. It broke 204, so I've got to set up a level for it because I've got to weasel my way on up to the green screen, so I didn't want to have to deal with that level, but it's above 204 again. So if the market catches a bid here, Tesla could rocket up, and it's right above 204. So keep your eye out on this one. Here we go again with Tesla. As the market catches a bid, we're in it again over here. We're along at 16s. Well, if it breaks down below 204 again, I'll get out. But I'm gonna give this a try. A lot of volatility today on the market, especially if you're trading these Mag 7 names. I was kind of surprised by the actual weakness today, no doubt about it, on the market. I thought we would have at least a little bit of an inside day. I added to it and stuff taken out. A little bit of an inside day because I thought, the market would be holding on and waiting to see what Nvidia did, and it just breaks down again, so I got to get out of that. Maybe I should get up here, Adara, so I don't give back anymore. Already negative on the day as a result of that last little trade on ASST, but that's okay. We'll look to figure out something else, and we'll be back tomorrow. For now, kill it, Adara.
Thank you. You kill it, Sharif. I didn't mean for that to sound so threatening. Shout out to you, Sharif, killing it every single day. I love this community. Hope you guys had as fun of a day as we had, as Sharif suggested. So much volatility, not volatility, but just straight up plain old volatility. We got wicked into my peak winners there, and that's why you got to set those peak winners ahead of time. Because if you can set it, then you can just let it hit, let it ride. There's no way I would have been able to get that fill because we kiss that 124.35 level, that we bounce right back up to 124.50s. I will be getting out now if we break above 124.60s. That was not a level I initially loved on Nvidia, though I know it was a level on the way up. Shout out to Sharif, who had that long there on the way up. And also, now it's rejecting. So if we break above 124.60, that's where I'll be out. I'll take my 40 pennies on this stock in the sim here. But man, was every trade perfect? No, I'm down on the day, but it's about the mental. Like I said, you always want to be bullish positivity. You want to be bullish growth, bullish opportunities. Plus, labor reports coming up next week, says Meridian. Yeah, we get JOLTS job numbers next week. We get NFP. If you were like, hey, that's too many job numbers, well, you might be out of luck because we're also going to be getting their unemployment next week. So lots in the labor space. Booyah, NQ low of day, says Kunal. Yeah, wow, the Qs. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we kind of retest that 469 level on the TQs, because, or 469.50, I guess, because big yikes there. Wow, making new lows here in the NQs. Let's see if Nvidia can benefit from those new lows. I'm going to ride in this till the end of the midday, guys. Like, I'm just going to let and see what happens here in Nvidia. I have no other real support resistance levels. 124 could be spicy, but we might get $1 here in this NVDA in that here sim, because you got to believe in C-trades you like. I've been watching these levels, so I knew when they hit when to strike. Now, that's what I think what's really fun here about these markets is you do get opportunities every day to try to be rebirthed. Don't like the wording I used there. What else are people looking at here by in VXX? So yeah, we should look at the VIX as we get all this wild volatility. VIX is, I believe, on the Amex here. VIX is up about 6.6%. Oh, VIX up 6.67%. That could almost get a little bit scary there, VIX. Wow, look at that base here of 46.40, making new highs of the day as we get that push below here on those Qs. It's been such an exciting day. 420 likes, LOL, says Tony Price. Tony, I know you look at SoFi sometimes. Like, take a look at SoFi because I want to look at some other names here for people. Also in the finance space, we have a firm earnings today. So could, like, a little different finance, but wow, SoFi. Look at that range. Look at that slightly lower highs with this flat bottom. Then we try to make a higher low at 751s, and SoFi is like, no, thank you, breaking that low. So many names giving you so much violence, so much volatility. Gaurav saying SMCI with an ugly candle in the 5 minutes, short at VWAP. Yeah, that's not a great look. With SMCI, though, like I said, my levels are until like, or unless it gets to 417, let it do what it does, 21. Like watching things on the book, 417 was an interesting level, 414. I'm going to stand by that. One thing I've realized, you have to stick with your levels, don't compromise, and make sure that whatever you're doing, you have confidence and conviction. And with that, you know, I hope you guys had a really fun day today. It's been such a fun time. I will continue talking a little bit longer here, though. Let's keep going. Hang on, SPY drop, says ACK. Yeah, let's see what's going on here in that SPY. But either way, you're going to have to SPY us tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel in a moment. You know, right now the channel is still here. SPY, wow, volume increase too. Their sellers they're out for blood here, guys, in this market. And hopefully you guys had a good time here, out for blood as well. We made it. We're in the dollar in the money in that Sim Nvidia trade. But now we're going to be in the money over there. See you guys tomorrow over on that green screen. Ciao.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Neil and Sean, they're locked, they're loaded, they're ready for these Nvidia